All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. It's warming up here a little bit, which is nice to see. And yeah, had some good trading days, and hopefully things are just going to get better from here. Apparently government workers are back at it, although we're not going to see it yet in some of our economic data. So, but anyways, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, my understanding is the government shutdown has been, well, temporarily, anyways, eliminated, or they've been temporarily,
kick the can down the road a little bit. Yeah. So we'll see what it does here. All right, our gappers list going both ways. Here's a lot of green, a lot of red on both sides. So again, just a lot of action. Some earnings from last night. Cisco is the one that sticks out the most, and we'll see what else is playing today. I know Disney is making a lot of noise this morning, also on earnings early on. So Peter will fill you in on all of that good stuff coming up here as we break this list down. All right, Peter, do we start getting data yet? What do we have here? I know it takes a little bit to kick things off. Any data today?
No, well, I'm not sure. Actually, you know what? Let's check right now because, to the best of my knowledge, there was supposed to be a bunch of data coming up at 8:30. The consumer price index information, as well as the initial jobless claims. However, I don't think everybody's back at work yet to have produced that. So no, doesn't look like that data is out. So no, so that was the big one. The one thing I put on our list here for today was the 30-year U.S. bond auction. Normally, we don't look at bond auctions. However, with the state of the U.S. economy and some of the overall you wouldn't know it from the stock market, but there is some economic challenges and concern over the debt globally. The bond auction might have a significant market impact if it doesn't go well. If you remember, God, when was that? Like 6 months ago? Anyways, a while back, there was a bond auction that did not go well. The international market was not buying up the bonds. The government had to issue significantly higher interest rates than they had initially anticipated, which just increases the cost of the debt to the U.S. people. And the market had significantly reacted to that, which we don't normally see. So I thought I would mention it. I have no idea. Like normally these things come and go and there's, the market doesn't really care. However, being that there is such a disparity right now between the markets at their, sort of all-time high areas and the rest of the economy not feeling so chuffed. I'm just thinking there may be an impact. So be aware, just especially if you're in a trade or looking at a trade right around that time. Again, it may have no impact. You don't know. The other thing that's coming out is the U.S. federal budget, not normally a market mover. But again, shouldn't. I actually don't even know if we're going to get this data. I think we are. The budget, oddly, the federal budget data is produced by an agency that I think has still been working. So we probably will see that. Shouldn't they be saving a lot of money? I don't know. No, the Department of the Treasury produces this, so I'm not sure if that data is coming out or not. I think so. It did come out last month, October 16th. We did actually get data, so I assume that we will get it again today. The expectation is that they will be overspent by $215 billion. But maybe that'll be a surprise number, actually, because last time there was a surprise where they were under budget by $198 billion, but that's largely because they weren't paying employees. So, yeah. So anyway, so that's the economic data that we're expecting to see. Tough to know if anything is going to be impacting this market, Carlos, because it feels like it doesn't really matter what's happening in the real world. I'll use air quotes on that. This market just says, I'm going to the races, man. You can't keep me down. There's a couple of days last week where we thought maybe, is this the end? Right? We're like, is this it? Is this the big drop? Nope, absolutely not. this week
Yeah.
said, no, we're going back up. So here we are. It's
Here,
crazy time.
here we are. Many people still think this has moved up too fast, too high this year on tech. So you guys, are speculators. I think this, this bubble, whatever might, be over, but market says otherwise. So we'll just play the price action and see what it provides us. All right, friends. Good morning to everybody on YouTube. See a lot of good morning this morning. A lot of active people. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Also in chat, in our chat here. Good morning, Monty. Good to see you there. Granham, Tren. Good to see you guys. Good morning to all y'all. Francis also on deck. So welcome, guys. All right, let's get to this list. Top of the gap up list this morning. MRSN. Let's see what we got here. Doesn't look too good. 208,000 shares traded. So you got a nice gap up this morning. Pretty flat as far as the overall activity on the pre-market. Almost a buy, Peter, but I'm not sure if the volume is there. 1.1 million shares traded. Not really doing much. Doesn't look like something that's going to be tradable for us this morning.
No, I don't think this is going to be something that we're going to be tackling. These biotech companies are not something we normally look at, and especially not this one. As you can probably guess just by looking at the price action, this is an acquisition. It looks like this Mersana Therapeutics is going to be acquired by Day One Biotech for $285 million in an all-cash deal. Oh, it's not an all-cash deal. Anyways, a cash and stock deal. Buyouts are not tradable, so.
Yep, not a tradable catalyst, and definitely not on this ticker. Next, let's look at Fly. So Fly this morning, we are up 22%. Firefly Aerospace, 22% up this morning, 354,000 shares traded. And you're seeing a little bit of some activity here. Interesting daily. Is this the IPO date back in August? Let me see here. What we have here. It is. So the IPO, at least on what I'm showing here, it's August or September. I can't tell. It might be September 7th. Either way, no, that's August. So IPO in August, and you can see here the drop, and since then has not looked pretty at all. So it's been down quite a bit here, and the pre-market action is not giving you a whole lot, right? It doesn't look pretty tradable or tradable at all. So I'm going to skip on it, Peter. I don't see nothing I like here.
Did you know that? Did you know that there were things landing on the moon? I didn't know that.
No, did not know that.
Apparently, Firefly launched a mission called Blue Ghost Mission 1, and the mission was named Ghost Riders in the Sky. Anyways, I like their naming. It's nicely aggressive. Anyways, apparently, on March the 2nd, they became the first commercial company to successfully land a craft on the moon. I did not know that. So they're in the news today, not because of that mission landing, the moon landing that I didn't even know happened, because they closed an acquisition of SciTech, and they released their quarterly earnings report, which was good, but probably more importantly, some analysts are taking note. Deutsche Bank initiated coverage of them. And has put them on their watch list. They've got a target of $30 on this thing, which would represent $30 would represent about a 70% premium over the closing price of yesterday. So, and it's making a little bit of move. It's up 22% this morning, although the volume's a little low. This is Carlos. I mean. This is more interesting than I thought it would be. It doesn't, the trading activity on it doesn't look great. And man, it has been going down since the IPO if I look at a daily.
Oh, yeah.
So
Pretty bad.
maybe now that it's got some attention, it'll pop up. I don't know what to do with this. I like space stuff, but you know what? It makes you realize there's stuff going on I didn't even know about. I had no idea companies were landing things on the moon. So
yeah, I did not know that.
Anyway.
All right, did you know that we printed our last penny in Philadelphia yesterday?
I did see the news on that. What fascinates me is that it minted the last penny in the U.S. However, apparently this is the decision to discontinue the penny by the Trump administration comes ahead of the elimination of the need for pennies. So
Yeah.
is there going to be a penny shortage? I don't know. I mean, in Canada we did this. We stopped minting pennies a long time ago, but we made it sort of a national law or approach. Everything gets rounded to 5 cents. So you don't get pennies at a store.
Right.
If it comes, basically less than the 5 cents, you round it down if you're paying cash. You pay the exact amount, of course, if you're paying on a credit card or debit, which most people do. So it doesn't actually affect a lot unless you're paying cash. But I think, I mean, it would, anyways, I would have thought that rule would need to precede it, because my understanding is it's actually illegal in 10 states to round things to 5 cents. You have to give exact change. So I guess they're gonna have to change a bunch of state laws. So
Yeah. Just
but
price on a couple
you know
of
what?
things.
It does feel like pennies aren't really needed. I mean,
Well, I mean, when was the last time you guys used a penny?
yeah, like I've got a whole thing here of change. Oh, that's very loud.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's pennies in here. What am I gonna do with it? I don't know. I'm not going into the store and I'm whipping out $8 of coins to pay for something, but I need to find a bucket just to dump this stuff into
Yeah.
at some point. But
Yeah.
But
so,
anyways.
yeah, there it is. There's the last penny. I wonder if this guy's gonna keep it. He's got to fix his nail here. Probably got cut in the machine. But I wonder if he's gonna keep. Gotta be careful, my friend. I wonder if he's gonna keep this penny. I would keep it. I'm not putting it in production. Can he just replace it with another penny? There's got to be some rules, I bet. But I'm keeping that thing.
I feel that would be a firing offense if.
Yeah.
There's got to be something special they're gonna do with that penny.
Yeah.
The last ever minted penny. Yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't make sense to produce them, especially when I think the cost was. Did I read it was like 4 cents to produce a penny, something like that. So
it costs more than what it's worth. Something crazy.
yeah, but
a lot more.
that goes with a lot of coins and bills and stuff. It costs them more to make it than the actual value on the low value stuff. So, hey, it's
But
so yeah.
this
anyways,
copper thing is expensive, and it fluctuates too, right? Some years there's less and more, so it's crazy. But yeah, some information there for you. I don't know how useful that is to you, but now you know. You might have heard it here first.
Now you know.
Yeah. All right, let's continue, guys. So that's Fly. Again, doesn't look great at all. We're going to leave this one alone. I mean, great what they're trying to do there, but again, this stock is just trading horrible. Next is going to be SEE is the next on the gappers list this morning. Another one that does not look great either. So we're gapping up 21%. I love the gap up here. But for the most part, even on the daily, on their good days, they don't get a whole lot of volume. The highest thing I see here is 4.2 million, and that's really not going to cut it for the way I like to trade. And pre-market also looks pretty. This is not pretty bad. This is bad. This is really bad for what I'm looking for. So I don't like it. We're going to skip on this one, Peter. Anything else on here that might be interesting?
No, I don't think this one's even really worth talking about. We can move on.
Yep, let's do it.
I mean, they're talking about going private. That's why it's here in the news. But that it's really hard to trade these things if they're going private. The price usually goes up, it pops higher, but there's not enough volume to make this interesting. So
yeah, no, there is not. Next is going to be ODNS on here. We've seen this one many times in the past. Today they're gapping up 18.9, 14 million shares traded, friends. So it is heavily in play this morning. Look at that volume. Looks like it might want to retest the pre-market high here. So it's pushing up above some of the moving averages. So Peter, some action, 14 million, so tons of volume even for a $7 stock. What is the latest and greatest on Ondas Holdings?
Ondas Holdings. I'm surprised to see so much volume. It feels a little weird on this one. They had earnings. They beat their number. Had a record Q3. They raised their guidance for the full year, so yeah, they're feeling happy this morning. So nobody's getting fired over there.
Yeah,
at least I don't think so. Not today.
Not today. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. CSIG. This I typed that right? No, CSIQ.
Yeah, SQ.
Canadian Solar, Peter. We are up here 9.6, 993,000 shares traded. So right up on your neck of the woods up there. They're again, these energy companies typically don't trade very well, so I'm probably gonna skip on it. But they got a nice gap up here, and look at their daily. They've been doing well overall in the last couple of weeks here, moving pretty nicely into that from 1508 to as high as 33.75. So looking pretty good there.
I gotta say, you gotta have some pretty good technology to be a successful Canadian solar company. I don't think there's a single spot in Canada that gets enough sun to make it an ideal spot on planet Earth to run a solar company. However, I suppose maybe that's my perspective sitting here,
I got a
with
Brooklyn Bridge down here I can sell you too. It's just
yeah,
let me know when you come
that's
down. I'll
right.
show it to you.
I
I'll
mean,
give you the tour.
I'm happy that we're apparently doing okay in solar and we're able to produce solar technology that we can sell to the world. But oh, true, maybe in the Arctic Circle, but then it only works for like 6 months out of the year, right? But during those 6 months, you can run it like 24 hours a day. So,
Yeah,
anyways.
but who lives up there? Why would they need electricity? If you live up there,
Well, you don't. You export it. It becomes a net
well,
export.
how
Like
expensive is that, right? I mean, how expensive
I
is to
have no
export
idea.
that?
Uh,
Yeah, that
It was
cannot
Matt's
be.
suggestion. We don't know if it's really
No,
happening.
no, no,
Anyways,
no.
it doesn't matter. Look,
Yeah.
Canadian Solar, this company, I can't say that I've ever looked at it to trade. They reported their financial results. They had good revenue in the quarter, good bottom line earnings. They've increased their forecast. So, it's all good. They lost half as much money as they're losing money still, but they lost half as much as they said they were going to, and they made more, 1.5 billion, 1.49 billion in revenue versus 1.37. Anyways, I can't see trading it. All the joking talk aside, there's a million shares traded, but frankly, looking at the chart, I don't really see it. It's not consistently. I don't like the price action. It just doesn't look good. So, no,
Yeah.
thank you.
Now we have a lot of Canadian listeners and viewers. Does anybody in Canada
Hmm?
have solar panels in the chat? I mean, you guys doing that or no? Peter, I know you don't clearly,
I
but do your neighbors have any solar panels? Have you
I
talked to them?
looked
Hey,
at it.
is it worth it or?
Yeah. I got a whole proposal from a guy about putting on my house and the cost and everything, and I did the math, and assuming nothing went wrong and the system worked perfectly, it would still take me like 18 years to break even. And that's
To
assuming everything
break
went
even.
perfectly and all the projections were accurate in terms of how much I would make. Could I even sell energy back into the grid, which I would have to do, which is not legal currently, but they're saying they're going to enable it. So anyways, I went through the math and I'm like, I just don't believe over any 18-year period everything is going to go perfectly. So yeah, that was my math anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, and the system deteriorates, and it's all kinds of problems. Yeah, it's got to make sense. Florida, whole different story. All right, let's see here. DPRO. Let's start there. Up 6.4 this morning. 264,000 shares trade. This is Dragonfly. You guys remember the name? We were making fun of it a
Another
little
Canadian
bit.
company.
Yeah. So we're up here. Is this solar or ain't something else, Peter? What's the deal with
No,
this one?
no, they make drones.
Oh yeah. They make those weird
Drones,
looking drones.
aerospace and
That's right.
defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
remember we were looking this up before. They another order. Last time we were talking about an order they had with the U.S. Department of Defense. This time they secured a big order from a Fortune 50 telecommunication company to expand its NDAA compliant heavy lift drone fleet for emergency and disaster response. So there you go. So they've got that's a heavy lift. Apparently, a heavy lift drone is 66 pounds. So that doesn't sound that heavy. And it only flies for 55 minutes. You got to be close to something, right? You're not going too far. Anyways, still working on that technology, clearly. But it has its uses, it has its applications. I don't know how this would help an emergency and disaster response unless you're dropping supplies to someone, because at 66 pounds, you're maybe rescuing a dog.
Yeah,
Not or a,
you're
or a
not picking up
or
a
a
human with
small
that.
child.
Yeah.
Because you'd need about four of those drones to rescue me. So that's
Yeah.
not happening.
This not happening.
Anyways,
All right,
Yeah.
there it is. Maybe drop medical supplies. I mean, I'm sure they have their their niche. Who knows? But yeah. All right.
Yeah.
As far as the stock itself, though, I don't remember putting it in the list last time it was in play. Peter, are you looking at
No.
this thing today?
No, I'm looking at it. The volume is low. It's over the limit. We look at for at least 200,000 shares to make our list, which it does have. But again, it's very spotty in terms of its price action this morning. It's not good enough. I've got some better targets I could mention to you that you could look at if you want.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to those. Let's continue here. Cisco with obviously earnings last night. Peter, Mike,
Yeah.
and Jared were live yesterday, running through this one, and it actually it performed very well. Performed very very well. So
Yeah.
here it is. After hours, my friend. Look at the pop all the way to about it. It did. I didn't see this part. It did hit 80. It did hit 80 over here.
Yep.
Hit some of the expected moves. But Peter, doing good today. Up 6.3 this morning. 1.3 million shares traded. There's a lot of story on this one, given where it's at right now, given its history.
Yeah, so pretty good results yesterday. We were talking about this, like you said, after hours. And to me, I was most fascinated with their distributed quantum technologies. But that's not what's paying the bills right now. It's all about AI. They got a big demand to help support AI. Cisco is primarily, or at least, first and foremost, a networking services company, and that's sort of some of the backbone stuff we often don't talk about. We focus on the sort of the compute chips, I guess, right? The GPU units, obviously, NVIDIA always on our mind, but they don't work in isolation. They need all sorts of supporting equipment around it to make it function, and then you got to get the stuff out of the data center, and that's what Cisco does very well, in and out communication transfer technologies. And they reported great earnings, great guidance. They said their demand is high. The market loved what it heard. So yeah, it's gapping up this morning. It looks, like 1.4 million shares, we'll say, this morning. I mean, that's good volume. The price action was better than expected after hours last night. Right at the moment, it looks a little quiet. I think I'm going to watch this for the open, but I'm skeptical as to whether the move is going to continue. I mean, this typically is about a 20 million share a day trader. I would be hoping today that, to make it worthwhile, that we'd be getting sort of twice that volume. But things have got to pick up a little bit if we're going to get there. So, yeah, Carlos, I think I'll watch it, but it may be just more. Maybe stubbornness on my part. I'm not sure. It just on the face of it, looking at it right now, it doesn't look all that great.
Yeah, it really does not. And again, Cisco trades very, very weird. Although it doesn't look all that great, this is the best we've seen. Just tells you how bad it normally is for active traders. So I'm inclined to put it on the secondary list. Just to remind myself, hey, look at this and see if it's doing anything that might be useful for us. But again, I don't think it's going to be tradable. So on the secondary list, but I'm really not expecting it to dance for us this morning. So let's see. All right, let's take a look at Baba. What's going on there? Baba today, we are gapping up 3.9, 1.6 million shares traded. So I do like the way that this looks here. But again, all the action, if you look at the daily, look how small these daily candles are, right? Look at how they're not, you barely get these sell-offs. And usually when this is happening, I bet if you go to this day here, I guarantee you there's going to be other things that probably are better. Your Apples, your Teslas, your Nvidias trading much better with a lot more volume that are going to give you better opportunities. So when you are getting these big drops like this, there's other things that are trading much better. The overall market is falling. I think that was when the overall market actually sold off. Yeah, look at this. Right, so I'm sure on this day here, you can find 100 stocks. You could throw a dart, and whatever you hit, you probably could have had a nice short on a day like this, right? So when you're looking at Baba's daily, it's just very, very small. So a lot of stuff not happening within the intraday. So gapping up today, but I'm really not expecting much out of it, Peter.
No, and I think this is just moving on sympathy. The one that I was actually watching is JD, which had earnings. Oddly, it didn't make our list. Why did it not make our list? I know why. It's not up more than 2%. So it's only up 1.3% after earnings. Did trade 2 million shares, and they tend to move as a block. I noticed. JD and Billy both had earnings. Billy Bili, this morning, and it got Alibaba into the news, which is why I think it's moving up here a little bit. I don't. It's been tough, even just watching this block, because I've just found the trading to be very difficult to manage, and I'd rather focus elsewhere. So I can't. I don't think I'm going to be putting any of these on my list, despite the earnings on JD. I don't think I'll be watching JD, Baba, or Billy. But those are the three that seem to be moving here as a result of the earnings on two of the three. So
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how it goes there. All right, let's stop here. I do see Nike. Actually, let's look at Nike. I do see Nike on the list. That was the next one. Nike is up 3% this morning, 346,000 shares traded. So normally this stock doesn't trade very well. I don't see a whole lot of volume. Nicey ticker, which usually you don't get a lot of pre-market activity, and usually the daily does not trade like our regular or NASDAQ or more active tickers. But Peter, they barely gap up or move. So is there anything happening at the Nike shop here?
Well, they did get an analyst upgrade, so that could be helping here this morning. Wells Fargo actually upgraded them and increased their price target to $75. So most of the analysts actually have a much higher price, so from $75 to about $100. So the expectation is that Nike's got more in the tank to deliver, or more miles to run, or whatever analogy you want to put on there. Like you said, tough to trade, really tough. I've watched this many times. I've traded a few times. I've never enjoyed my time trying to day trade this one. So
yeah,
I'm not going to try it today.
Yeah, it's not an easy one. All right, let's stop here, Peter. Gap up. What else do you like that maybe we have not talked about yet this morning, or anything that's not on this chart?
Yeah, from an earnings point of view, we already talked about the few that were gapping up. I've got more that are gapping down. A lot in the red. So, we've been waffling back and forth day after day, right? Where morning starts all red and then the morning starts all green. Today we're starting red again. So, but no, as we've learned how many times in a row, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the direction the market's going to go. So, don't let that phase you too much. What is different this morning is that, again, all the Magnificent Seven are down except Meta today, which is the one that is gapping higher. It was Apple that was doing the, alternate history here and moving in the opposite direction of the market today. Apple is going with the market, and Meta is going the other way. So not by much though. We're only up about 1/10%. But on a stock, the price of Meta, that equates to about $1 or 80 cents worth, anyways. Other than that, Carlos, I mean, yeah, there's not much on the upside. We can talk about all the stuff that's gapping down. You know what is oddly gapping up, but only, well, it's not enough volume to make it worthwhile. I just noticed that the cruise lines were gapping up. Carnival Cruise Lines, Norwegian Cruise Lines, they're gapping up, but again, I just realized they're up by like 1 and 3 cents respectively. So never mind.
Yeah, not much happening there. All right, let's take a look what's gapping down, my friends, and see what's going on here. This morning we have a lot more on this aisle. So let's start with the first one, which is KRRO. Wow, down 78% here, guys. So down 78%. This thing was sitting at a 31 last night, and today waking up. Actually, last night. Actually, the fun started last night, or not the fun started last night here. Big drop, Peter, and doesn't look like it gets a lot of volume. It gets no volume really on the daily. All the action is from yesterday and this morning. Before that, it's just nothing. So, Peter, not doing good here. Down almost 80%. Who's getting fired this morning?
Yeah, they today. So they reported the earnings, which were lower than expected. Their CMO, their chief medical officer, keep in mind this is a biotech company, so a chief medical officer is a pretty important role, has left the company. They are restructuring and eliminating a third of their workforce, and perhaps most amazingly, they received uh 8 downgrades, 8 this morning. So pretty much everybody is abandoning this ship.
Oh
Yeah,
man, 8.
yeah,
Now,
it is.
did they all just gang up on this thing like at the same
I
time? Usually,
I
what's
don't
going
know,
on?
man. And it's none of the major ones, right? Like
Okay.
I got RBC Capital Markets, but Piper Sandler, but then you got a whole bunch of like Chardon Capital Markets and Cantor Fitzgerald and William Blair. I would call these secondary analysts. They're not being covered by the big banks. It's not the Wells Fargos, it's not the JP Morgans, it's not some of the big ones, but they don't cover this company anyways. But yeah, it's everybody that is covering it anyways seems to largely have downgraded the thing. So it's a bad day over there. If you're the CEO,
Yeah.
you're probably quaking in your boots, I would think,
Let's
this
let's
morning.
get a live view of the headquarters, and there's the CEO right now. This is fine.
There you go.
Everything's okay, buddy.
There you go.
Calm
That's the
down, settle
CEO
down.
sitting there. Giving his
I'm telling you,
morning coffee.
I don't wish down anybody, but if I wake up and I see this, I'm polishing my resume. The resume is getting
Yeah.
polished and it's going out
Yeah.
immediately. But yeah, if I work in a company
Yeah.
like
You
that,
you know the chair of the board is calling you and saying, "What the what is happening?"
not
Anyways,
good, not good.
yeah.
All right, all right, let's continue. What else we have here on the gap down list? Let's look at the next one again. This is probably not going to be tradable because I don't see a not just to finish this one off. I don't see a lot of movement. Like we're seeing stuff gap down pretty hard here, but this is not. It's not doing anything really. It's just
No.
down, and that's pretty much it. So, don't think it's going to give us anything to look at. BDTR is next. BDDTR.
TDR.
There it is. And look at the movement here, down 22%. Ouch. 4.8 million shares traded. Man, this is not feeling the love this morning, friends. So, and not just today, the last couple of days, like, yeah, we didn't gap down. We gapped up here, actually. Sold off. Pretty much flat, sold off, gapped up, sold off, and then now we're gapping down and selling down. So it's double bad on this morning's action. So, Peter, what's going on? Who messed up here? I mean, this is not looking good
Yeah.
today.
They've got a whole pile of bad news, but it's all interrelated. So they had a secondary offering, which is never good. Well, it's not good for the stock. Anyways, they raised more money. So $400 million worth of new money, in fact. However, and they announced another offering of another 150 or 148 million. So they're raising over $500 million here. However, the first 400 million was just used to buy down previous debt that was too expensive. So they'd issued a secondary before. They're now issuing another secondary to pay off the previous one, right? So, that's usually you want to see that money used for new investment, not to pay down the old people. And of course, this is on the backdrop of their core investment strategy is to invest as a Bitcoin treasury, and Bitcoin prices are down around $102,000 a Bitcoin this morning, which puts a lot of their investments underwater. I don't know what the net average price is for these guys, but uh, it's not good. Obviously, like I've been telling you guys, right? If all these companies are investing in crypto as a treasury strategy, meaning they're just going to accumulate, that's always on the assumption that it's going to grow in value. And with it continuing to slide, that's problematic. So I'm trying to see if anybody gives a forecast of what this BitDeer's average price is of their Bitcoin. Uh, no, I don't know what it is, but either way, yeah, it's not going good for the company. They probably, I think, their headquarters look very similar to KRRO. Maybe, maybe the fires are burning a little lower here this morning, but yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, not good, not good. All right, DLO this morning. What do we have here? This is D Local Limited, and I believe we've seen the name before, but again, it just doesn't trade very well. 397,000 shares traded. We're down 8.4 today, and not a low flows ticker, right? So 111 million, but yeah, man, it's just not looking good. So I will leave this one alone, Pierre, unless you have anything to add.
No, it's not really worth talking about.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to some good stuff. RGTI. I've seen some people talking about this, and someone in chat mentioned they already went short pre-market on this one.
Mm.
So nice. You can see a little bit of a drop here, and not just Rigetti's not alone here. I'm not sure who's driving the news. Peter's gonna let you know in a second, but there's a bunch of them. These quantum tickers on the list today: QBTS, QUBT, and IonQ, Quantum Service Provider, whatever that they do. And I think that's about it. So you got the main ones that we always look at: Rigetti, QBTS, QUBT. These three are the ones that we're always paying attention to. They're all on deck this morning, Peter. They're all down. Rigetti down 6.4, leading the way, 3.8 million shares traded. So not looking good. Looks like they are in play for us to take advantage of this morning. But what's the news?
Um, I'm trying to figure this out because I don't see anything typically new. About 2 days ago, earlier this week, the Rigetti CEO did a sort of a little speaking tour. Was saying that they're about 3 to 4 years away from demonstrating their quantum technologies, which matches with what a lot of companies have talked about. That feels like it's within the time frame. So I don't feel there's anything new or concerning about that. Quantum, it has been a lot of the big companies have been very quiet about quantum, I find, in the last little bit. And, you definitely want the hype to continue because these companies' valuations were dependent upon it. I mean, you just have to look at a daily chart of Rigetti, or QBTS, the D wave, to see that, yeah, their valuation, went from, back in September to all the way from 12, $13 up to almost over 50, $55. There you go. Like yeah. And even you go back to last year, they were trading sub $5. So they've got a long way that they could fall before they're really in trouble. It's just the hype. People are sort of saying, "Wow, that was exciting," but am I going to sit in this investment for the next 3 to 4, maybe more years? They might say, you know what, I'm just going to take some of these profits out. We'll come back to this when quantum starts to prove itself. That's what I feel is happening here in this sector. So it's just a continuation, I think, of that calming, the cooling of the excitement around the quantum. And remember, a lot of this quantum, if we remember, it was a lot of the excitement. It was driven by a single comment, right? Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, got up and sort of talked about quantum in a presentation, and the whole market went crazy. He actually didn't say anything revolutionary, and he said it's a ways away, but he sort of legitimized the space just by mentioning it. So again, it just goes to show NVIDIA as an organization and the people associated with what power they have. And for the CEO to have mentioned quantum, everybody went a little gaga. I think now they're sort of coming back to reality, and
Yeah.
it's always harsh when that happens.
Well, he slammed them a couple of months back. Remember, he's like, that's decades or something crazy. That's decades away or something. And it took a big drop. You guys remember that? And then he came back and said something positive recently. So,
But
but yeah, it's
absolutely. But I said, it's one of those. It's almost like the all news is good news, right? The fact that they were mentioned by him seemed to spur volume because look what the volumes did, right? And sort of continued. So, anyways, it's an interesting space. It's one that I think. I mean, we're not done with quantum yet, right? Like we're absolutely not done. However, it doesn't mean that it's going to be doing something interesting every single day. But we've seen these stocks trade very well. I mean, we're still getting about 70 million shares traded on average on Rigetti. And D Wave is trading on average about 48 million shares. So, they're absolutely getting volume, and that makes them tradable on any given day. I mean, keep in mind, things like AMD that I love to trade is only getting about 53 million shares per day. So, I can't argue that they're not in play. They're absolutely getting the volume.
yeah, yeah. Um, I like what's happening here. I'm just trying to decide which one I'm going to choose to put on deck here. I mean, they all look pretty decent. Rigetti, I think, is probably the better one. Let's look at QBTS. Yeah, between QB, I like QBTS daily though. I do like the way their daily is, but yeah, I think either one of these is good. In fact, I'm gonna put both of
I
them. I'm gonna put
Yeah.
Rigetti and QBTS.
And Justin in the chat room is mentioning that they had earnings that weren't great a couple of days ago, and he's absolutely correct. Back on Tuesday, I think they had their earnings and they weren't great. But I am firmly convinced that in this segment, the earnings largely don't matter. It's not about earnings, it's about the story they tell because nobody's expecting them to make money. And it's one of those where if you lose more money than you forecast, it just means that you're investing quicker, which could be seen as a good thing. So, it's a little bit of a bizarro world where, does it really matter, if a Rigetti makes 10 million or 20 million of revenue? Like, do we really care at this point? I mean, their sales, their last year's recorded sales were 7.5 million. They could double or triple it and it's still largely irrelevant. Keep in mind they lost 350 million versus 7.5 million of revenue. So, you know, anyways, that's just my view though.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm putting these two down here. So I got Rigetti, I got QBTS, Peter, and we'll see how they make out. Pick your favorites on all of those. There's a few that you can go after. All right, let's take a look at Disney. Here's Disney, Peter. Obviously not doing good today. We are down this morning 5.3, 2.2 million shares traded. The mouse not too happy this morning.
The mouse is not happy. Yeah. So mixed picture, mixed earnings report from Disney, which came out earlier this morning. They missed on revenue, delivering only 22.4 billion versus a 22.9 forecast. But they made more money than expected, delivering $1.11 per share versus a buck three. So that was, a mixed, bag, I guess. Some good, some bad. They declared a dividend. Disney's had a long history of paying good dividends. $1.50 is the dividend that they declared, which is healthy but not record breaking. They continue to be in a battle of streaming services, right? They look. There's been a long battle, as we know, between them and Netflix, and even like YouTube TV, Google, of course, and look, they're all struggling to capture the same eyeballs. I honestly think Disney's probably struggling most because I mean, what's the last big blockbuster to come out of Disney? Like since the Marvel franchise has quieted down, they need stuff, and they haven't
Yeah,
had big stuff. So
yeah,
and a
agree.
lot of the stuff they've been producing, direct to streaming, hasn't been all that good. So, yeah. Anyways, Disney is yes. I think overall people are a little disappointed. Disney's gapping down here this morning. Look, it's absolutely in play. Where'd my Disney go? I had Disney on here. Anyways, I've liked watching Disney. I have traded in the past quite successfully, actually. So I've made money off of Disney. Today, 2.2 million shares traded so far. It's down 5%. It is a NYSE stock. It trades in the New York Stock Exchange, so keep that in mind. I think, Carlos, it's a potential, but it's likely to be. It's not likely to be an easy trade.
Yeah, I see that as well. I'm gonna put on the secondary. We'd love to see where it goes here. I mean, we got a little bit of volume, 2.5. We're down 5%. Let's see how it does today. So on the secondary list for now, because even when it's in play, it is in play today. Don't get me wrong. It's not a easy stock to trade. All right. Let's see what else in the gap down. So that's Disney. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I see a lot of tickers that we're very familiar with that we don't trade all that well. So I'm gonna just kind of skip on this for now. If you guys bring any of these up, we can pull them up. But Peter, let's go to you. What else do you like this morning that maybe we have not covered yet?
Yeah, on the gap down, there's a whole big smattering of the crypto stocks. You've got AI stocks. We've got the rare earth metals. They all seem to be just gapping down a little bit. So you got, smatterings of them across the list. Last night we were watching earnings on Serve Robotics. For those that hadn't joined us, as a reminder, Serve Robotics is that company that makes the little roly robots with the eyeballs that are supposed to bring you your burritos and your fast food, in an automated fashion. They sort of They got famous when they deployed. I don't know. It feels like a foolish decision, but they made the decision. One of their test markets was going to be LA. And of course, people in the streets of LA were beating the snot out of these robots. It's actually quite hilarious. One of our members posted a video of all of these different. These different robots just getting beat up or getting stuck in, they're with their little wheels getting stuck on curbs and things. And the one that they kept flashing back to was I think it was either a very drunk or a homeless woman who was riding it like a rodeo bull, and uh, and it was very funny. Anyways, but look, they've got a business and they've got customers, right? They announced a new deal with $100 million. Oh, sorry, a new partnership with DoorDash. They've raised more cash. And their earnings are largely irrelevant, right? I mean, on earnings, they beat on revenue, missed bottom line, but again, nobody cares about that. It's all about the deals. Whoever, if you're here, if you had posted that video, you got to see it now. Somebody posted like an amalgamation video of all of that. I'll see if I can find it for you. I'll go back to my history. It's got to be in there. And Teddy, you did that? Yeah. It was funny to just watch all of these. Here we go. Robots under attack. Uh, here's the link for you, friends. You can go watch that in the chat room. So, anyways, they're not trading with a lot of volume. We've only got 160,000 shares traded, so it's just a fun. I find it a fun company. It's not a great trading target. We got better stuff for today. So anyways, that fun aside, I still like the semiconductor sector. It's been giving us good trading opportunity. NVIDIA was my dog yesterday, back in the game, giving us some good trading. NVIDIA, not so much. Yesterday was a tough day for NVIDIA. AMD, I felt anyways, traded a lot better. But again, like these, you can always watch the ones you want. Tesla, of course, always in play. Great drop off the open on Tesla. I know some people took advantage of that, although it was pretty quiet for the rest of the day. So, and then PLTR, Carlos, that we were talking about. It's another one of those days where you got to be, the opportunities are there in PLTR, but you got to pick your targets because it can be, when it's ugly, it's really ugly. But when it's good, it's fabulous. So it's not an easy stock, but it's so tempting just because when it decides to move, it can move with aggression.
Yeah, 100%. All right, there it is. People are asking for the link of the video and on YouTube. I just sent it to you. You ask, you receive. There's the link. Don't click on it now. Don't leave our stream to go look at that.
Yeah.
But put it on the side.
There you go. I wasn't sure if we could. Okay, that would make sense. Sometimes you can't post links in the YouTube chat, but I guess it would make sense you could post a YouTube link in the YouTube chat. They'd probably be fine with that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, open in a different window just for entertainment purposes. It is funny. Look for the lady riding it like a rodeo bull. They come back to that clip many times in that little stream. Anyways, it's well, there she is right now.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, friends. So that covers our gap up and gap down, brought to you by tradingterminal.com. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you guys like this morning. As we're doing this, friends, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. And subscribe. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. If you're interested in more content like this one and other ones for members only, we do have our Lambos and Garbage Truck membership. You can join for that. Very easy to do. Hit on the channel. And you can see the subscribe button right next to it. You can join and be part of the Lambos and Garbage Truck community there. So thank you for those that are already part of that. All right, let's take a look at what you guys like. Let's start here in our chat. What do we see here? Checking Fly. Yeah, we did look at Fly earlier. We did look at it. It is in play today. I just don't know how it was going to trade, man. Really light volume for the way I like to trade, Steve, on this one. But it is in play if it has all your parameters. Absolutely, definitely watch it. MBIS. This is one. It moves a lot. It gets volume. It's always gapping down and doing something. But I find it so difficult to trade. So it just could be a me thing. It's not you, it's me on this one. So for those reasons, I'm not gonna have it on my list. But even the the daily. I mean, this looks nice. This looks like if you can lose this area here, you got tons of room from their previously large gap up here back in September, early September. So you know what? I'll put in a secondary. We'll give it one more opportunity to prove us wrong here. But this is one that, man, I think it's also from the Netherlands, right? I think it's also overseas ticker as well. So again, we'll put it on here. We'll see where it goes. But it's one of those, Tyler, that it's a hit or miss for me. It's more of a miss for me, but a hit for others. That's probably the best way to put it. It's a miss for me, a hit for others on this one. So. All right, let's take a look. It's Dutch. That's what it is. Yeah. So yeah, it's not the easiest. NVIDIA is on deck, so I do have that one on here. Ben, thanks for throwing that out there. SNDK, SNDK SanDisk Corporation. Wow, look at this. Is this right? What's the float on this thing? This thing was sitting at $50 just in August. $40 lower at the beginning of the year, and 268. Wow, that is pretty impressive. Volume not the greatest on this one, so again, I think it is in play. I'm not, I want to watch this. I want to see how it trades. I don't think it gets enough volume. I'm gonna put it on a secondary list with the stuff that doesn't trail that well, SNDK, just because I want to watch it a little bit later and see what it does. All right, let's take a look at some other ones. We'll do two more, then we'll have to hop to our community events and announcements for this beautiful Thursday. Here is Open. Open is in play, down 4.4, 4.6 million shares traded. Look at this daily, too. I do like what they did here. Big gap down. Wow. Talk about recovering, friends. I mean, 550 lower there. This was just on the 7th, which is last week. Since then, has recovered and then some. I mean, wow, that is pretty nice. The last 4 trading days have been really good on this one. Increase in volume, as you can see here, and they're getting tons of volume. I mean, above 185 million in the last 4 days at least. So, you know what? Let's. I like the way this looks. Thanks for throwing that out here. I do like the way this one looks here. We have looked at it in the past. I don't think I traded it much, but I like what I'm seeing here. Lower price stock, which I'm not a big fan of. I like things above $15 and $20, but today this looks decent. I think it's worth taking a look at. All right, why is NVIDIA on the list? NVIDIA is always on the list. NVIDIA and Tesla is always in the back of our heads here. So NVIDIA, I mean, just look at the pre-market just today, right? We're down 1.6, 3.5 million shares traded. The key thing is NVIDIA going to trade well today, right? Between NVIDIA and AMD, pick your poison here, but AMD has had some really great trading on the last week, more than a couple of days. The last week or so, NVIDIA has been trading much better as far as my strategy and Peter's strategy, right? So we've been taking advantage of that one. That also looks good today. We got 1.3 million shares traded, down 2.7. That's another one worth watching as well. So actually, I'd rather watch AMD better than NVIDIA, to be honest. So we'll put both of them on there. And yeah, let's stop here. Let's take a look at our community events, friends. You can always head over to bearwoodtraders.com. And if you get over there, and if I get over there, you click on webinars and you can see what's happening for the next 2 weeks schedule is on here. But we're going to focus on Thursday. Scroll down over here, and here's Thursday.
It's Mentorship Day in the Bearable Trading community, and we've got a few sessions as always. 11 o'clock, we've got Lenny going to talk about trend trading. At noon, Jared talks options in the webinar room. And of course, at 8 o'clock tonight, we've got our signature session with Thor, who does his Thor's Day, Mentorship session. It's all Thor all the time. Anyways, it's a good day always on Mentorship Thursdays. And not only that, but of course, you have the opportunity to be here trading live with us and, of course, our live traders in the chat room all day. And that's invaluable. If you want to join the Bearable Trading community and be here all day, not just when we're live on YouTube, and get the different experience. It is different being in the chat room than being on YouTube. It's more interactive. There's more of a community feel, and that helps when you're trading because it can be a very isolating activity. Check it out. Check out our website, bearabletraders.com. You can see the different membership options from the intro right through to the Elite Annual, and just pick one. Kick the tires even. Come join us for a week. See what it's like using that intro offer, and we're convinced that you'll find a community that adds value to your trading every single day. So hopefully we'll see you there sometime soon. That's my alarm telling me we got 5 minutes to go before the market open. So let's get this show on the road. We'll do some levels and then we'll hand over to our live traders in the chat room.
Start here with Rigetti. So Rigetti, guys, in play this morning with some quantum tickers. Rigetti, if I could type this correctly here. RGTI, there we go. Let's get some levels in place here. So towards the top, guys, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. The low of the pre-market sitting at 26.15, so we'll slam a level there. Then scroll to the left here, pick the next best level, and it seems to be 24.55, and then another one right at 22.47. Towards the top, you're pretty much covered. I don't think you need to. Actually, there's one level here that you need to add. This might not be covered by your automatic levels. 29.22. I think it's a great area. Your high of the pre-market, pretty much for your previous day close is. Another one to look at. Both of these are trading pretty much the same this morning. QBTS. So pick your favorites. Or both of them if you like them. 24.85 is the low of the pre-market. Towards the top, let's remove some of these older levels. Towards the top, you do have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, and they're doing a pretty good job. I don't think you need to add anything else. This is pretty straightforward, and it is covering a lot of the levels that I would have marked here. 23.65 towards the bottom is the next one, and then below that, 22.81. So there it is. All right, let's take a look at AMD, which has been trading very well. Still stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. Today, moving downwards, now down 3%. Volume increasing. I have the pre-market 258. The low is being created now, so we'll come back for the low here. We'll mark 252 for now. 252, you got a little bit of support happening there. And then on the daily, there's this mid-level point here between the high and the low. A lot of support and resistance. This would be 256.05. So I am going to mark that down there. You can see how many days are using that support, resistance, and just kind of opening and closing right at that price target. Right else, towards the top, you're pretty much set. You got the highs over here of the last 2 trading days, previous day close. Do not need to add anything else. Let's look at NVIDIA quickly here. NVIDIA towards the top, pretty good. Automatic levels doing a great job. Low of the pre-market, 190.26. Towards the bottom, 188.04. And then right over here, 184.71. So that is our good buddy NVIDIA. And then Open is moving here, guys. So low of the pre-market, 888. High of the pre-market, previous day close. Towards the bottom, you got all the steps down here. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, got you covered. Previous day close towards the top, and then if we can get another level up here above these pre-market highs, 996, 969, and also 1006. So there it is, friends. Those are our levels for today. Peter, recap of what our team is watching, then we'll hand it off to the chat.
Yeah, we'll do it real quick here. Brian, who will be trading live, is looking at NVIDIA, Tesla, PLTR, AMD, and ENGN, not one that we were looking at. Brendan's going to be watching Rigetti, AMD, NVIDIA, and PLTR. I've got my list up there. A lot of stuff to watch here. I'm going to try and watch BitDeer. Looks interesting with the volume. Rigetti, of course, Tesla, NVIDIA, and AMD. We've got Mike, who's going to be watching AMD, Amazon, and Google. Eamon's got AMD for a potential long on his stock list. And then Jared says he's just watching the usual stuff. So there you go. Gary, who always a very active trader, is going to be watching Tesla and PLTR. And of course, Megan, you're going to be trading live with PCT. And then she'll be back in the chat room this afternoon. So whatever you pick to trade, trade smart, guys. We've got just over a minute until the market opens. So let's hand it back to the room here. And we'll keep the party going here on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up and a like, by the way. Don't forget that.
All right. Take care, guys. See you later. All right, friends. We are off on the chat, and we'll continue here with our YouTube friends. Get our charts all set up and ready to go. We have our 1 minute and our 5 minute ready and set here. So, all right. 40 seconds to the opens. Let's see what this day brings. We had a great day yesterday. Hoping that we can continue that on this beautiful Thursday. POTR, yeah, we'll look at POTR as we get into the open. We'll look at it. It's one that I know a lot of you guys traded, I believe, short yesterday. Right? I had a great short. So hopefully today we'll get some action on it as well. So POTR. Right.
Definitely pointed downwards into the open. Here we go. The open. Where's my opening bell? Come on, man. Anyways, market's open. I think I've
let's see. Agreed. Yesterday is relevant. Everything is relevant besides one thing: the price action right now. It's the most important indicator. What's happening right now? At least for us day traders, right? We're this is here. We don't care
Absolutely.
earnings. No, just right here. What's happening there, and how can I take advantage of it right this second? Well,
Yep.
in 3 minutes or 5 minutes after the market open for me. But Peter will be looking for something here, and let's see if we could catch it. No bell today, huh? I feel empty.
I had to like artificially
Yeah.
set off my bell because it didn't ring for me. So uh what do we got going
All
on
right.
here?
If
Oh, you
you,
know what I haven't done? I haven't called
yeah.
up Atlas. I now I'm starting to get used to having the Atlas. I'm apparently not used to opening it here early, but
Hmm.
here we go.
Oh, Rigetti, 1 minute ORB breakdown on Rigetti. I'm gonna jump in on this guy. So, not the best entry. 1 minute engulfing ORB on Rigetti. Let's see if we get the drop here. Stop is very tight stop, guys. 27.10. We'll get out of it. We're not gonna mess around with this. But let's see if this 1 minute ORB can get us something here. So, looking for quick partials, aggressive partials like this one here. Okay. Let's see if we can get at least the 2 Rs would be great, but his stock is struggling to sell more. This might be very short-lived. So here's the next candle, the important candle. Coming back above the VWAP. Yeah, I don't like it. All right, so we're out. We can always get back in later. But quick partial and out of it. Didn't really sell down as quick as we would like. CSCO. Let's see. It's moving. Looks like it wants to go higher here, friends. But again, this is not my typical play, so be very, very careful. QBTS dropping. AMD.
What the hell?
What happened?
Oh man. I was short AMD and it popped back up
Yeah.
so fast that it smashed me out of my short unexpectedly.
Oh.
So that's a little disappointing. That is
Oh.
I was sitting in it
It
going, I'm gonna
looks.
wait for a big move before I was gonna take another partial, and then it just
Yeah.
wow, this thing is popping all over the place. Doesn't know where it wants to go.
No, it looks weaker.
It does.
Than
But
stronger.
it's
It looks short, but let's see. I like this potential short here on AMD. This is such a good entry. The problem is I'll have to hold to like 243.40. Yeah, I'm gonna wait because I'm just looking at it. What is the strategy? And I don't see what strategy for me that this would be. But this looks like a really great short. Yeah. Oh, it did. Oh, it did work. JC. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, we're small, very small green on it, but man, this would have been nice. Ah, that would have been nice. That pop above the
I
VWAP
did
killed us. Ah,
come on. I did get back in short on AMD. I don't have a great entry, so I'm worried that it's going
nice.
to take me out. There you go. It just took me out again. Damn. This thing, it's
Playing hard
not
to get
it's
right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
it
look at
is.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Let's be patient,
It's
friends.
just
Let's
too
yeah.
wild.
It'll settle down. It'll settle down. Um, yeah, I would like to take this for a 5 minute RB breakdown, but the 5 minute candle's weirdly enough, the 5 minute candle's green, so it wouldn't make
Yeah.
sense until it gets below 251. But then I'm far from the view. It's a lot happening here that I don't does not push me to take an actual trade here. So let me see.
Yeah.
CSCO, yes, it is dropping here. So there it is, CSCO. A lot of selling pressure too. Ham on this one. Look at this. A lot of selling pressure. Engulfing between here, selling down more. So yeah, that's That's good. All right, short NVIDIA. Oh man, Rigetti. Oh, that would have been good. Okay, not mad at you. Not mad at you. Open, messy.
All right. I did it a third time. I've gone short at
Yeah,
VWAP here on AMD. I just
yes.
took a partial because this is where it's bounced many times. I should show you guys on my chart here. This
Yeah,
is, like I've had to take three swipes at this, and it just, like you said, Carlos, it just looks
I'm
so
going with you.
attractive
Yeah,
to
I'm
drop to
going in.
250. But
Yeah,
it's like, be really careful. This thing is crazy
yeah,
this morning. It's all over the place. So, and this looks like it's going to stop me out again. There you go. Stop me out
yeah.
again.
It's gonna
Like
stop me out too, man. Uh,
I don't want to take a lot of risk on this, so I keep putting my stop at break even, and it's too wild because of what I'm afraid is you're going to get the $2 pop to the top side, which
right,
is
right.
no, which would be painful. So,
I'm in. I got in such a horrible entry. But I'm hoping for a 5 minute golfing pattern. So I'm hoping for that. Let's see if it can go here. Almost stopped me at 250, 280. Not a lot of shares, guys, because it's trading wild and you gotta give it room. So don't take a boatload of shares on this thing. And I think it's gonna
yeah,
stop me out because I think it's gonna go higher. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of it. I think it's
yeah,
gonna go above the VWAP. It is
it's hard to
messy,
tell,
man.
right? This thing,
Oh yeah,
it,
yeah, it's
it is
messy,
messy.
messy.
And
Yep,
just
yep.
look at those overlapping candles like that. That is messy. That's just the definition of messy right there. So yeah,
Yeah, no, there's better things trading. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia is really nice, friends. If you traded that one, that looks beautiful. QBTS, Rigetti, my Rigetti
yeah. Damn it.
did trade beautiful.
You know
Oh,
what? And the funny thing is, I was looking between NVIDIA and AMD, and I thought after, anyways, I thought AMD had the better chance of going down. I was clearly wrong on
yeah.
that. So,
I
oh
think
man, that's what happens. You pick the
yeah,
wrong horse sometimes, right? It's just
it is choppy. But you know what? This kind of shows Nvidia might want to go long, man. It's above the VWAP here. I won't go in long right now, but there is a 5 minute setup
AMD,
that
you
can
mean.
be. Sorry, AMD. AMD. It's a 5 minute setup here, one way or the other. We just got to figure out which way it's going to settle in on. Um,
Mm,
and shoot,
yeah.
this could be a long, man. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know.
I
But
don't know. That's the thing, right? We don't know,
well,
which
no,
means
no, it's
we're
just
better off just to stay out of it.
yeah. And not
Because
that
it
we
could.
don't know, because you never know. But I don't see a clean setup after all this choppiness, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what is Atlas?
What I've learned,
Mm-hmm.
this is a hard learned lesson, and this is for everybody out there who might be a newer trader. Look at AMD right now, and if you're looking at it, picture your react. What would your reaction be like if this thing suddenly jumped up $2? You'd be, oh my God, I wasn't in on it. Oh, look what I missed. If it dropped $2, would you have the same reaction? And I would. Oh my God, look what I missed. It dropped $2, which means you don't know which way it's going. Stay out, right? If you would have a very strong reaction in only one direction, then maybe you've got an opinion as to where it could go. But if you could picture yourself reacting the same way if a pop or drop happened, then stay out, stay out, and that's hard to
Yep.
do because you're afraid of being left behind, right? I get
Yeah.
it. I've been there so many times, but that at least for me, that's one of the things I think about. If I would like be equally upset about a move in either direction, then clearly I don't know what it's going to do. I'm just upset that it's moving without me. So, you know what? Do something else. I'm gonna watch something else. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there you go. There's a pop higher.
AMD. Yeah. There's the pop. I didn't jump in. Um, did not jump in. But if it pulls back, man, I think this will be a good long. I like it above the VWAP here. Stop.
Oh
I
well.
give it a dollar
Yeah,
fifty. What would it be? Two fifty,
yeah,
two
that'd be a
twenty.
big stop.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you got to give it enough room if you want this
All
to
right.
survive the pullbacks. Uh, I don't know.
Well,
What is Atlas telling me? Atlas isn't. It's not giving me a whole lot actually. So if
no,
anything, it looks
and it
short.
looks exactly.
It looks
But those
short.
are but it's looked the same since the open. I've been watching the Atlas on AMD, and there's a bunch of orders sitting at 250, and they haven't moved, and not much has
Yeah.
come in either way, which is interesting. Look at AMD now, Carlos,
Yeah. Look at it
right?
drop now.
Like, like we just don't know. It's not doing anything. It is really just in this pretty wide, it's in this $3, $2.50 range here that it's been just bouncing in.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it's
gonna go with
yeah.
my gut. I'm gonna go short here, Peter. I'm gonna go that this thing
What? I thought your
Atlas
gut
looks
was
short.
long.
It was. It changed.
Oh,
It
okay.
changed.
All right. Look, I don't
It
know.
it it changed now. I'm short. I'm short in here. Let's see if we can break this 251. I wanted to get in earlier, 250, 260. That would have been 40 cents higher, but that's okay. Atlas just, I don't know. It's just, this is short here. We're below the VWAP. Let's see if we can get the sell down. So let's see if we can break down on this 5-minute ORB. This will be my second trade long on this, and let's see if we're going to drop. So my Rigetti did bounce back up to VWAP, so it did give you a nice drop, and then it came crawling back down. And QBTS was clearly the better play. QBTS was much, much cleaner, man. Look at that. Oh, nice. All right. Let's see. Let's see if AMD is going to do it for us here. It's like it's on the verge. Just break this 5-minute range. We got orders down at 251. We got even more orders at 250. So
Yep.
let's see if we can sell here. Important candle coming up right here. Let's see if this one can do the magic. Go pick up those 251. You can do it. You can do it. Here's another level where we have to make sure we break out of here. This was the last area of resistance. Here it is, 251.
There you
Orders move down to 250. So Atlas is giving us some stuff. Take out partial here. And now more orders down to 250 now. So let's see if we can get down there, 250. It's not trading good, man. It is not trading well. Like these look at the right back up to almost my break even here. It is not. Yeah, this is not fun.
Nope.
This is not fun. This candle comes back up. I get stopped out of break even. I am not touching AMD for another 30 minutes. Yeah, because we're just stuck in chop. Like if we're not able to break this here and get into a nice little flow towards the bottom, I'm not coming back to play with you here. So I'll put you in the penalty box.
Carlos is gonna take his bat and ball and go home.
I'm going home.
Maybe
not
you'll
playing nice in the sandbox here. So
yeah, maybe you're getting a move now. It looks like
getting it now. All right, here we go. Partial there. See 250 orders just keep pushing down, so that's good. Tons of orders 250. This is what we're looking at, guys. Atlas brought to you by tradingterminal.com. Oh, baby. Okay, so you want to play. All right, you want to play in the sandbox. Nice, it's good. That's good. So here it is. So we tons of orders at 250. Now we're starting to see some orders to the upside. That wasn't there before, but clearly the imbalance is still to the downside. But now we got some players that, where he went? Disappeared.
They pulled them. They pulled the orders, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good for me.
That's good for you, yeah.
It's good for me.
See if you can get through the 250. You got to get through the 250 here.
Yeah, it's 250.
Maybe I should have taken another poke at it, but I didn't trust it, so I'm sitting watching.
I don't blame you. I'm glad I didn't take it long. I was so close to taking it long on the pullback here. I was gonna take it long, but Atlas was, the imbalance was all the way to the downside. Nothing on the upside.
There you go, Carlos.
Here it is for my goodness. And this is why we love AMD. All right.
Oh, and I'm just watching.
Now I gotta relax in the parts. I'm good now.
There you go.
I just gotta relax. Now I gotta take it easy with the hitting the button here. Look at this. Look at this Atlas. This looks beautiful, friends. It's exactly what I want to see every time I'm short. I want to see they stack towards the bottom, so we have orders to go through. And I cannot tell you how many times I got a video that's older, 6, 7 years old, where we talk about when there's a lot of bids, it's a bearish signal. I can't tell you the comments I get about how is that possible? Bids are buyers. It's supposed to go long, and ask is the opposite, whatever. It's right. It's completely opposite. But I learned from Andrew. He has shown that when you see big bids at the bottom, is usually it's the price, at least for momentarily, wants to sell down. Right? Doesn't mean it's going to stay like that the entire day. Things change, but momentarily this attracts the price action to go lower. And there's a lot of teachings where it's the opposite. People see this as, hey, these are all buyers looking to get in for the price to go higher, right? To buy. So, it's
they are buyers. They are buyers, but they're buyers at a lower price, right? So the price has got to get there for them to be able to buy.
Exactly.
So that's the trick in it, I guess.
Yeah. So here it is. Right. They're not to be confused with buyers getting in at the ask or, right at the price where they want to get filled immediately. That's a high demand. That's different. That will actually create the price to go higher. But people mistake that with these bids sitting lower. So, all right, AMD pulling back a little bit here, friends. My stop is at break even. Let's see if we could play around with this 9 moving average, and just kind of hold here. But I won't be surprised if we're out of this pretty quickly, just because the way it's been trading. It's been pretty hectic, man. Pretty hectic. So.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Right. QBTS. Rigetti at VWAP, friends. You guys seen that? Open at VWAP, broke out. Not a good setup though. There's no way for me to take this. Our pattern is not set up there. Let's take a look at Disney as AMD. Watching AMD closely is pushing higher, so we gotta be careful here. Make sure we get out with enough room. And then here, Disney. What did Disney do? One initial drop, and then
just a little drop off the open. Not that much.
Not much. And how about Cisco? Same thing. Not much. Okay.
Actually, Cisco wasn't a bad rising devil. It's just it was a little tough because it was a wild move right at the opening 2 minutes. Sort of similar to what we were seeing on AMD. It just broke down a little faster. So
yeah.
I'm disappointed a little bit that I've got all these trades. 1, 2, 3 trades at the open here on AMD and didn't stick with it. Carlos, you got the one that worked. I was not in it for that. That's too bad for me, but hey, you know what? I've had the good days sometimes, and it's your turn today.
Yep. That's how it goes. And this is funny because this reminds me of like following someone, right? A little bit. All right, I might get out here on AMD. Let's wait for break even just in case. But this looks like it just wants to go back up to this range again. Won't be surprised if we're back into this range and doing some back and forth again, right? So let's see here. But I'm hoping that this 9 can push it lower. But if it cannot, we'll be out of it. We'll make a new high. I'm going to bail on it. I'm not going to wait for my break even because there could be slippage given how fast this thing is moving. So let's see here. But I was going to say, this reminds me a little bit of following some, right? How difficult that is because here. Sorry, I'm just trying to see what AMD is going to do. Yeah, I'm going to get out of it. We'll get out of AMD. So we'll get out here because this thing, if it shoots above, it's going to go pretty high. Like following some, right? So for example, like when I was trying to follow Andrew when I was first learning, he'll take this trade here. This exact same scenario. He'll take this trade. He'll lose money, and I'll take this trade. I'm like, what the heck? He lost money. I lost money as well. Then he'll take this trade. I'll be like, I'm not taking that trade again. That's not going to work. Why would I follow that? And then he makes money. And that happens. Like, so it's so important not to follow us because you could be sitting today right there. And let me know if you are, no judgment, right? Safe zone. If you took this trade with me, right, and you lost money, and then you didn't take this one, you're upset. So if you had a plan, though, if you had a 5-minute ORB plan and you had a trade book, if you take this trade, you know that the setup is coming again, you'll take it again, right? You're more in control of your trading and your process, opposed to following someone. Because if you follow someone, then you can be selective on top of that. You got to take everything they take. You might not agree with some of that stuff, right? So it's tricky following someone in trading. So be very, very careful with that when you do decide to do that. Yeah, see the call out, guys, on AMU for a possible VWAP breakout. And let's see here. I don't like the previous day close here, though. We've taken trades like that before, but it's not ideal. We have taken those, and it works pretty well. But, yeah, it's tough. A 5-minute RB breakdown on MVP. So I was looking for a 5-minute RB breakdown, AMD, up or down. So if you look at it, you can see it much cleaner in our 5-minute chart. I'm looking at AMU. I think AMU might do something here, Peter. Hold on, I'll get right back to you, my brother. Hold on a second. MU and the 5-minute also looks good. No volume though. Or I'm just spoiled looking at NVIDIA and AMD so long. I'm spoiled. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know on this
higher
one.
in AMD. Good, you made the right call to get out.
Oh yeah, look at
AMD
that.
there.
Look at that move. Oof.
Yeah.
That is awesome, man. AMD is so strong. Look at that. Look at that.
I gotta feel that Andrew would have been long on that for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Andrew Trace's VWAP breakout here. He would have been on for sure there. Yep. Oh, who's calling? Potential spam. Okay. Very nice. Do we get a pullback on this? MU's breaking out. Yeah. I'm going to skip on MU. The entry would have been here. I missed the entry. Here's the entry, but I just didn't like this previous day close line there. But that would have been, if you took that, that's a great spot. AMD, on the other hand, if we can get a pullback in our signal, this can be a good entry long for us. So how do we trade it? All right, so here it is. So the first trade, right, the one we got stopped out on was the 5-minute ORB. So someone was asking for this, right? So here's the 5-minute ORB. This is our range. So I was looking for the break of that range. Got stopped out here at the VWAP, and then when it came back down again, I got in again. Same thing for the break of that range. A little early though, so I want to be able to get a better entry, have a better stop since it's so choppy, especially. And then this one broke down nicely. So you can see it on the 5-minute here. Here's our 5-minute range, which is this first candle right over here. And so just keep in mind also at the time I made this decision, keep in mind this candle was a beautiful red candle right here. So I'm looking like, true. Oh man, I got a nice. No, now it's like, what the hell is he doing? Let me explain to you a little bit, right? let me break it down. Let me give me a second. Yeah. Right? This was a nice, beautiful red candle. So I'm looking at the 5-minute breakdown. I'm looking at the engulfing pattern. I'm like, yes, let's go. And literally got filled at the bottom and then shot back up, right? So all those signals were there, and we just didn't get the breakdown. So when we got a second shot, we got in again, and then this time we did get the nice drop here. So yeah. All right. All right. Not bad. NVIDIA coming up. Look at NVIDIA sell down. We definitely picked the wrong horse, Peter, because if we would have both traded NVIDIA.
Yeah, no kidding. Look, NVIDIA, I know. I was looking at it, and I didn't think it was the better candidate, so I was clearly wrong.
Your entry never gets tested here. Like you go in almost anywhere here with a reasonable stop, and you're just immediately you get a buffer from your entry, and that's nice. That's nice. And I can see Peter adding here with his massive entry over here at 190.50, and he's adding here because you've been adding a lot. I noticed that, which is nice.
I've been trying.
It's nice.
Yeah, that would have worked out well, but I'm not. I'm just watching it now from the sideline. So
yeah.
Move higher.
Michael is you trading long? So what's going, Mike? Mike. Let's see what Mike is up to here. So Mike is on trading Google. Oh, you might be nice if it can get back above VWAP for a long. Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of things are setting up for that. You were short from the open. Oh, beautiful,
Oh wow.
beautiful.
Look at AMT
AMD.
popping.
Ah, that is a beautiful long.
Hmm.
That is a beautiful long. And it gave you a perfect pullback too. Like this pullback here, this is really clean. Uh, look how cleaner it got. After a couple of minutes here, this is the open, just complete mess, and then here
Yeah.
finally starts getting, AMD likeish, and now it's going.
Tesla
Uh,
also had a VWAP rejection here and it dropped. So that was a good potential trade.
oh yeah. Um, Mike, yeah, I do have this crazy wick here on Google. Look at that, shut up above the VWAP and right back down. So yeah, I do have that. We've been seeing this a
Even
lot lately. Saw it yesterday too. On
even Microsoft had if you look at the 5 minute, geez, it's a good
yeah,
signal there for a drop. Hmm.
yep, yep,
Easy to say in hindsight, but yeah, just watching all of them. Watching
yeah.
all of them. Meanwhile, I'm sitting pretty much break even on the day here. Don't have much going on.
Uh,
I don't think I've even covered my commissions with what I made, so we'll need to find a trade.
Yeah, we'll find something. Yeah, I'm looking at Microsoft at the VWAP, and like, not the best strategy for my setup. Right, we like to break out kind of above the VWAP. This is kind of like right
Mm.
on it, but it does look good. Um, if you had an entry here, right, the let's say you forget the VWAP and you look just for the entry signal, it would have been right here. So right now you're not at the best area to enter, because now usually after something like this you start getting a pullback. Um, so I don't know, it's not ideal. But even with the previous day close up here, it's still a great risk to reward. Like you still get 1 out of 3 on this, and that's really good on Microsoft here. So Mike did not see. So here's an example. Mike is just mentioning here on Google because people ask, "Oh, I didn't get filled."
Right.
So Mike did have a range order in here, and this thing shot up. So his triangle is not filled, and shot up, and he did not get filled. So these are usually there. It's not that the price actually is moving up,
Right.
and usually you look at your P&L and it doesn't move. It stays
Yeah.
as if the price was here, shoots up, comes back down, and again, it's just transactions being recorded or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
It's basically consider it like a private order, right?
Right.
You could
Right.
have had two firms out there that just agreed, look, I got a bunch of shares. I'm going to sell them to you at 283. And unfortunately, that's just where it printed. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, you're right. You can't get in on that action. It doesn't mean that the price,
Yeah.
overall moved there.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Uh, AMD pulling back here. Now, are we ready to have AMD go on a run here? Is it going to do some ABCD patterns and go, Peter? What's your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't feel like it's a day where things are going to run heavy here. But well, I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. It's
Okay, I
I
see you guys.
missed I missed I missed
Going
all the
ahead, bro.
moves this morning. Yeah, Tesla's still weak.
Oh,
Look
I
at
haven't looked at
Tesla.
Tesla. What's
Look at
our
look at
good
where it
buddy?
is. Look where it is
Wow.
on the daily. It's right at the bottom of this range here. This is high risk, man. If it drops this, we
Oh
could be
yes,
seeing
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
could see 400 today. Yeah, look
Ah,
at
Tesla's feeling the pressure. Yeah, because we really haven't touched 400 in some time since we had this nice big
No.
move up. So, oh yeah, let's see before you get filled. Let me pull it up, Peter, before you get filled here. Let's see what Peter has. I'm sorry, not Peter. Mike sent an email. Oh no, here it is. Ah, yes, that perfect example. This is a great one, Mike, for education. So yeah, this is nice. I must save the screenshot. Can I download it? Oh yeah, there it goes. Download it. So here it is. So Mike, here's his order. Right, so this is a range order on Dash Trader Pro. So he put his order, this is when he placed his order for those that are not familiar with the platform. So you got the
Right.
top of the range, the bottom of the range. Look at the wick go right through it, and he's not getting filled, right? If this was actual price action going up, this order will get filled. So yeah. Yep. All right, let's see. Wow, Tesla. Beautiful action. Anybody I didn't have it on my list today for some
I
reason.
know. No,
Nobody
I
even
wasn't
brought it
really
up.
watching it that closely. I mean, it's
Yeah,
always on my list, but I wasn't watching it that closely. That being said, with all of the craziness on AMD, it was like it was just enrapturing, right? It was just I couldn't take my eyes off of it, so which means I
yeah.
wasn't really watching anything else. So that's unfortunate, but the way it goes.
Yeah. Wadi 9260 calling out Amazon here. I do like the pattern on Amazon on the daily, on the 1 minute for the 5 for the VI breakout. So you got the push. Here's the pullback. 8 seconds for the next candle. Let's see if we can get it before he starts going. So here it is. New candle.
Amazingly, I
Yeah,
don't think I don't think Paris traded Tesla all day today.
really. Here's the confirmation candle. If I get on this trade, it's gonna take a long time. Amazon does that. It takes forever to do something. When you compare it to like other fast-paced tickers. But right now, the setup is failing. So we're not taking it yet. And if you're wondering what I'm looking for, I'll be looking for the confirmation candle here. This one. Doesn't have to be this one. It could be the next one too. Like you could have two pullback candles. It could be the next one that gives you the confirmation. But if this thing goes below VWAP, which, yeah, see, this is not setting up well. So don't get in.
Look at
Don't get in on
Paris.
this. Yeah, what did he
Paris
take today?
partials. He partials like a madman. He took
Oh
NVIDIA.
yeah. Yeah, he does.
He's got it on the screen in the chat room there. You can see if you're able to
Yeah.
share that. And look at that. I mean, even you think Andrew partials a lot. Look at Paris, man. He's just like every 10 cents all the way down.
You got a rapid fire hot button there.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that thing.
Yeah. It's wild, man. Yeah. And there he doesn't have a lot of ads. Usually he adds a lot. Usually he's ads. He has only one ad here in the big pullback. So he got in, added, partial. Yeah, this is Mike. This is rapid fire, man. This is not semi. This is full automatic. Gatling 50 caliber mounted. This is forget it, man. Yeah, there it is. So he got in, added, partial, and then here's his second ad, another partial. So yeah, that's beautiful. All right, so Amazon failed, right? Amazon failed. So we wait for setups. Didn't happen. Looked very good. But the signal here failed. So we're not gonna take that. And then AMD never got to the VF, so nothing to see there. I'm sorry, NVIDIA. Sorry, excuse me. NVIDIA never got to the VWAP. AMD. This was a good setup. I missed this. This was a good setup. Break. Here's the pullback, and then here's the confirmation. This was nice. And we would have got at least 256. That's about $2.50 or so. But yeah, that was pretty good. Isn't it super expensive? No. If you it can be, well, I know Paris is trading bigger size. So when you start trading a larger size, if you pay hey, if I are you gonna pay $2 to withdraw $150? Yeah, I pay it every time. I'll pay $2 every time to
Yeah.
withdraw 150 on that partial, right?
My
Um,
my commission rate is averaging around 0.3 cents per share.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't really matter how often I partial, right? Because I'm paying on a per share basis.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
so let's say I partial 100 shares, for example, like Carlos, like you're pointing out. Well, that's like 100 shares. That's 30 cents. Yeah, okay, I'll
yeah,
pay that. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
who cares?
yeah, yeah. It's like an ATM. When you're in the green, it's like an ATM giving you
Yeah.
not free money, but giving you money, and all you have to do is pay a transaction fee. You'll pay it. Absolutely. You pay. So
Yeah,
now if you're trading
but the
small
minimum,
and yeah, go ahead, Peter.
yeah. Well, the people are saying, well, I think you're about to say the same thing. There's a minimum ticket price. It's usually like 35 cents, I think, in my plan. So,
Yeah.
but
I
it's
think
not.
it's a dollar per ticket here with Interactive Brokers. It's like a dollar. Uh
No,
the minimum. But remember you got
no,
the
I'm with
Canadian
Interactive
branch, I think.
Brokers. Oh,
Yeah?
okay, all right.
Yeah, I think it's a dollar last time I checked for the minimum.
Uh, I know it's not for me because I
Yeah.
partial down to like really small sizes, and
Well, how
I
much
could
is it
tell
for
you
you?
that I
There's no
think it's
you got no
35
minimum?
cents.
Well, yeah,
No, there
that's
is a minimum, but
yeah.
it's.
And are you with the US
Well,
branch? And
no,
am I getting stiffed here? Am I getting stiffed? What's going on? I gotta find out
let
what's
me
happening here.
commission 30. Yeah, 35 cents is my minimum commission.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at my statement from yesterday, and I had a couple of situations where I ended up trading like 20 shares or or 30,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
20 shares or something, and yeah, it was 35 cents. So
Yeah, it's a
that seems
dollar
to
for
be the
me, man.
minimum.
So like when I
Really? Okay,
partial
well,
very low shares is a dollar, and then it's more depending on how many shares are above. So it's dollar minimum per ticket. So I gotta check. I gotta check
mm.
what's up with that. Make sure I call them and say, hey, listen, my buddy. I'm not gonna say who, because then they'll be like, oh yeah, they'll check your account. It's like, oh, we have a mistake here. Now we gotta charge Peter a dollar retro for the year. No, I don't want that. So when you're gonna do things, never say who. Right? Just say my friend. Never say
Well,
who. That's
also, what
not good.
it also depends what plan are you on? Like, are you using their tiered?
Yeah,
Because the
no, I'm on the fixed. I'm on the fixed.
Oh, you're
So
on the
that's could
fixed.
be
There
it.
you go.
But
Okay. So
I
yeah.
thought the minimum would have been on anything, right? Whether tiered or not. I thought it was just per ticket. So
No,
I didn't know the
no. If
tier.
you look at their,
Yeah.
I'm just going to I'm going to their website here,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Oh my goodness.
blah 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 stocks.
Wow.
Here, let's see. Their stock rate, monthly volume. No, I don't want to do that.
Look at this thing, man. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, minimum per order. So it says right on their
Mm.
website, United States rates, Carlos. You're right. On the
Yeah.
fixed, see, here's the difference, right? On the fixed, you're paying you're paying like I'm paying a third of a cent. You're paying
Mm-hmm.
5/100ths of a cent per share. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
your minimum is a buck. My minimum is 35 cents. So if you're trading relatively smaller sizes, then the tiered is actually a lot better. If you're trading big sizes, then the fixed
Yeah.
is far better because you're just trading massive sizes. So you might want to
Yeah.
consider that
I gotta do the
depending on the
calculation,
sizing.
see what's better. Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta do the
yeah.
calculation. I could take like last month and just say, okay, see which one's better. I don't think it's gonna be a big difference. I'm not trading massive size.
Yeah, okay.
So it might not be a big difference. But
Yeah.
but we got to this point where we're talking about
The other thing,
how expensive it is. It
yeah,
becomes really irrelevant. It really really does.
it does one way or the other. Yeah. The other thing, just if you're looking at it, they talk about the different third-party fees. On the fixed, they only charge you regulatory fees. On the tiered, they charge exchange fees, clearing fees, and pass-through fees. My experience on that, on a daily basis, that comes in to be like 5 or 10 cents total. Like it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
it's so small that it's negligible. So they list it. It sounds scary, but it's really not.
It's really
It's not
small.
much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So in any event. Yeah, pick whatever package makes for you. And then but to the point, Carlos, you were making overall,
Yeah, it's
I use the analogy. If you're buying a product, if you go to the store that you know there's a sales tax, you don't base your purchase based on the sales tax, or at least I hope you don't, right? You should look at the
yeah.
actual price of the item. You look at the value. Is it on sale? You know there's always tax. That's just part of the transaction. You don't usually make a buying decision on that. Trading, I think, should be the same way. You should make your trades based on the value of the trade. Does it make sense, right? Is this a place I want to partial? The commissions are just a cost of doing business, and overall, at the end of the day, it will not. It shouldn't influence the decisions you're making while you're actively trading, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. 100%.
So some interesting moves here today. Microsoft is one of the ones I'm
Yeah.
keeping an eye on. Microsoft did. I was talking earlier about that break the 5 minute chart off the VWAP and the track down, and it did this thing that Microsoft likes to do regularly. Hit a low of day, no real signal down there, and then bam, reversal all the way, low of a day to high of day. So
Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
it's nice.
Like I wish I could figure out how to trade that on Microsoft because it does that move quite consistently. You just never know when it's going to do
Yeah.
it. So.
And we're talking about Amazon earlier too. Look, Amazon did come back to the VWAP and did break out. But here, even if I was watching, I wasn't watching at this point. I don't know if I would take this trade at this point, right? I just don't know if I would. I would have taken it here for sure because I love the way this thing came up to it. Here, I don't know. I'm not. I can't. Usually, I can look at something and say, "Oh yeah, we missed it." But here, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So. Actually, no, I wouldn't. You know why? Because look at this candle supposed to be a pullback candle. This takes off. The next one never pulls back. It just keeps going. So there's really no actual pullback. This is not enough of a setup for us on the VWAP setup, right? So yeah, I wouldn't have taken this, unfortunately. But would have been nice to have this done here. We would have definitely been in it. That's a 243, but that's okay. There'll be more. There will be more.
Here's another good lesson. I mention this regularly, but now is when you could look at the AMD chart. And all
Yeah,
that craziness, Carlos, we were facing at the open, and even where
I
your
know.
trade was and the move you got, look how small
Yeah.
that move looks compared to what's now happened,
This
right?
is nothing. Like
Yeah,
nothing, Carlos. Like look at this.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Compared to this. Oh
yeah.
man, that is so awesome. But this is one I
See?
think if we were focused, I don't know what we were doing. But if we were focused on it, I think we would have taken this. I think we would have. I was looking
Mm,
at it, but
I don't
I
know
don't
that
know.
I would have, but
Yeah,
it's not my trade, but maybe. I mean, heck, that's similar to the trade we took on Tesla a couple of days ago. I think when did
yeah.
we take that Tesla trade on Tuesday?
Uh,
So
Tuesday or Monday? I can't remember.
Monday or Tuesday,
No, Monday
whatever
had
it
a
was,
bad day. I
yeah.
think it was Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. We had a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So, anyways, I mean, these moves happen. You can't catch them all the time, but
yeah, can't get some more. And it's also happened to me where it's a great trade. Oh, perfect, good. We made some good money here, and then you come back later and you see like
yeah,
it drop to like 230.
right.
Makes your trade look insignificant. Like you got out too early, and it's like, look at that. But yeah, it
Yeah.
happens. It happens. Let's look at the secondary list. So I had Cisco on here, trying to come back up to the VWAP there. CNDK, just messy. Nothing really to see here. Every candle overlapping the previous one, and very low volume, which makes it very tough to trade. MBIS, what's another one we're gonna try to give a shot, but again, it's just look at these candles. Like I don't know, it just looks weird. Not a fan. Then Disney has gone flat, so nothing to see there. Beth, good morning. Where you been? You missed all the action. Good to have you in chat. MU breaking out. Open. NVDA. Oh yeah, these things are moving higher now. Things are starting to look pretty nice to the upside. No FOMO. No FOMO. Do not chase. Enter only on your plan. I'm telling you. Oh, it makes all the difference. all the difference. And I know it's tough to hear that now when everything is running, and you probably could get an AMD and get $2-3. But just again, when you start being flexible with your plan, that's when things can go pretty bad pretty quickly. Because you'll do it again, and you'll do it again when it's not going to pay off. So it's hard. It's hard because a lot of us right now could go long in something, and we're gonna probably make money by doing some randomness, but that doesn't pay off in the long run. So AMD, as I say that, keeps on giving. Can someone write in the chat? Yeah, sure. Oh, I missed your first question. What's your email? Okay. I thought you just meant for us to write in the chat. Oh, yeah, we could write in the chat, but I missed your email above that.
AMD's gone green. Oh, my
it's gone
goodness,
insane, man. It is.
Look at that. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Good stuff there. So my email, Carlos at bearbulletraders.com. So send me a note there. I got a couple of emails this week for people that are in chat right now and cannot text. Like I'm not sure, what's up with that. So there are people that we don't have them blocked. We checked. There's 2 people that we checked so far. They're not blocked, and they cannot. We've been looking for you, 419M9U. Yes, I remember the call sign. You won Brian's I think option or swing book. We already gave out one to Marcos. I think you were the one that we were looking for. We're going to put our APP on you and start saying, some signs on the post is looking for this person, but glad we found you. Yeah, email me. I got your code. Ready for you. So send me that and we'll get you all set up. I think yesterday we were asking, right? We've been asking all week for you. All right, good to have you, man. Yeah, send it to me. Coach Humberto. Can pivot points be used in day trading? I believe so. I see many traders use them, so I think they can. Peter, you don't use pivot points, do you? Or cams?
No.
Okay. No.
I mean, I have the cams on my charts, but I don't. I don't do a lot with them really. I know people watch them, so I keep them here. But oh man, Rigetti and QBTS pretty choppy today. Didn't actually end up doing all that all that great. AMD though. What a Carlos. I think we missed.
We missed the best trade of the.
Yeah. Oh well. Tesla was an awesome trade short here too.
Yeah. But Tesla really, I think was would have been harder for us to get into. AMD, man, we were watching it. We were like here for it, and.
And I even said, I remember when it popped it right above VWAP, I said, this is when Andrew would go long. And
yeah, Andrew's in chat, by the way, actually.
I see that.
Buddy Andrew, yeah, he's in chat. That. Oh, yeah, we watched Andrew trade so long that we know his style of trading. And there's times where we said, like you said, Peter, you called it like, oh, Andrew would have been long right in here for the break. With this volume coming in, Andrew would have been long. And there's times where we call it, and like, is Andrew long in this? And then I'll go pull up the chat, and he is long. Yeah, that's happened many times.
So the question is, if we're familiar enough with his trading style and strategy, why didn't we also do that? Because we know it generally works.
Yeah, good question. It's a great question. I'll answer after you.
Oh well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a good, it's because I don't see it as my strategy, even though, why not? It works, and we're familiar with it. So
yeah. Oh, look at that, friends. We got Andrew all to ourselves. Don't tell the chat.
Do.
If you're double dipping, if you're in the chat and in here, don't tell people that he's here with us. All right, love it, love it. Uh, there it is. But he is joining in chat.
Yeah.
There it is. AMD, man.
Wow.
Oh, what a beautiful
Yeah, no
trade.
kidding.
That is just awesome.
No kidding.
That is just awesome. Yeah, it's different, but in all seriousness, I think it's just also what you're comfortable with. Like, we don't give a lot of credit to what you're comfortable with doing. You know, Andrew's comfortable doing some things that I'm not comfortable doing. Peter's doing some things. Peter does things that a minute to the market open that I'm not comfortable doing, and he doesn't even trade the open the way I do, as often as I do, right? So I think it's, what are you comfortable doing? And I think that's a big part of it. We always focus on strategy and this and that, but what are you mentally comfortable doing? And some things I'm just not. I don't feel great. Like, even when I got stopped out here, I feel great. This is my setup. I own this every single. I feel good. I own this. Now, if I would have went, short, let's say here, right? Yeah, it could work out, but I'll be uncomfortable because this is not my setup. Like, short up here for some reason, for some ain't rising devil, right? Would have been, no, not really, but let's say, follow with me for a second. Rising devil, yes, it would have worked. We would have made money, but it wouldn't have been something that I'm comfortable doing. And that's a big part of trading. Slice and dice however you want. I think your mindset and the way you feel comfortable, confident doing is important, right? And then there's people that can step out of that comfort zone. They can step out of it and put themselves out on a limb and risk a lot. And those are the biggest rewards. And I see Andrews being one of those people where he can put himself out there. The guy climbs mountains, right? Literally on the edge of a mountain, and just falling into crevices and climb out. There's people that got that risk tolerance. And the more you risk, the higher the reward, right? I don't have that risk tolerance like that. So that's important. That's important. And it's okay if I don't. It's okay if I don't. I'm good in my lane. It's working. And we just move forward, right? So I think that's key. Oh, yeah. Make sure you are comfortable. What is the Andrew indicator on Tesla? He's looking at Tesla actually right now. Looking at Tesla and might be setting up for a double bottom of this 41164. Is actually 1022. It is time to start, seeing some of that. But yeah, we'll see. Being a cowardly trader means you survive the game longer. Could be, man. Could be. It's all about stages too. Like, if I was a trader with, no responsibilities, no kids, I'll be trading very different, I think. I'll be trading very different. But, once you hit certain stages of your life, you might be a different trader because of it too. Like, I wish I would have started all this trading stuff when I was 23, right? Oh man, a whole different story. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot that makes up the way you trade, your DNA as a trader. So you definitely gotta, you gotta be aware of that. You can still bleed out from small paper cuts. Oh yeah, no question. Do you still have those P&Ls when you had your brother traded options? Yeah, my brother's not trading options as much. He still dabbles in, but man, he's living life in Florida right now. He's enjoying himself pretty well. He's asking me to come down, but yeah, P&Ls are the same, So they has not really increased. It's hard to increase P&L size to the point like where you see Andrew and stuff like that. That's even half like Andrew's doing. That's difficult. That is very, very difficult to do. So, yeah. Do you still have those P&L screenshots? Which one are you talking about? The ones that I shared before? Which we must be talking about a specific one. From the journal. The one I shared from the journal, my journal. Tesla lost the low. Let's take a look. Tesla.
I'm on mute. No wonder you can't hear me. We don't normally share P&L. Andrew sometimes puts his P&L up there, but you can
Yeah,
go
well, I
back and all
used
the.
to. I had tons of videos
Yeah.
with PNL. Yeah, oh yeah, I used to. I used to do live recaps every day. It took a toll, man. I used to do them every
Mm.
day. But yeah, it took a toll. So that's probably what you're referring to. Lambo money on options. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. We made some good money on that. But we didn't know what we were doing. We were gambling. Now he knows what he was doing. But when we first started, man, um, options are gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Yeah, it's wild. We lost a lot too, though. We did lose a lot. So
People
good
seem to
times, good
always
times.
remember the winning ones, eh? And they forget
Yeah, yeah.
they
We
forget the
no,
losing
we
ones.
lost. Oh, we lost a lot of money.
Your bank balance remembers the losing ones, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, it does. Wow, Tesla did not hold 411, 409, and that's for your journal. Yep, that's for your journal. So, uh, I don't journal as I gotta admit I don't journal as detailed as I used to. But the first 2 3 years, my journal was a I needed an hour sometimes to put it together. Man, it took a lot of time. Um, I gotta say I don't journal every day now. I do take screenshots. I do take screenshots of my trade, but I don't journal the way I used to. I used to wake up, um, right right before 3 kids. I used to wake up, just had 1 kid. I used to wake up in the morning, write everything nicely, had the time. Now 3 kids, and you don't got that time in the morning. That's not happening. So that's not happening. Let's see here. Adam Beluga 6284. Hey guys, sincerely, what do you average on profit percentage yearly? Percentage of what? Of like your account? Right? So it depends too. Like percentage is it's important, but it depends on what your goal is, right? Some people are just growing their account. I'm not in the growing account stage. I'm in the withdrawing stage. So I take out money from the account. Some people that are growing their account and are a little bit more risk averse are going to make a lot more. So it all depends. It all depends what you're looking to accomplish out of trading. And then some people are just, gr- withdrawing it to pay daily stuff or putting in their savings. So it depends in what stage that you're in. Like Peter, I don't think you're withdrawing it on a regular basis. You're just growing. I don't think for
Yep.
you you're not you don't need the money to live off it, right? You retire,
No.
which by the
I
way,
mean, I.
like the earliest, like the youngest person retired that I know. That's pretty nice.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
take money out what just because I don't need it sitting in the account sometimes, but yeah,
yeah,
it's not. I'm not trying to live off of that.
yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, so it depends, man. The percentage could vary from everyone is different. We'll see how we end up this
Yeah.
year, but
I
I'll tell you this much. I used to make a lot more in my 9 to 5, right? I had a excellent salary, beautiful salary. So I make less now. I make less per year, and I was in 6 figures in my 9 to 5. But I make less now, but I have a lot more time. So you gotta figure out what's worth it to you. Also, I don't have to pay for insurance. Like if my wife, I was telling this, like it's not that easy. Like someone could say, "Oh, I'm making 150,000 a year," but if you're not covering all the stuff you need, taxes, right? 150,000 a year is not 150,000 when you do taxes, especially for trading, and especially what state you live in. And I live in the worst state possible, right? Let's start with there. And if you're the one that also has to cover, yeah, I think California, New York, and New Jersey. California, New York, and New Jersey are the worst for traders. So I don't know why I'm here. But anyway, for tax. And if you also have to cover benefits for your family, private benefits is not cheap. You know, It's not cheap. So yeah, you have to. I have to have insurance. I have to. So thankfully, my wife works for the great hospital, and she got the whole family covered with great insurance, right? So all these things go a long, long way in deciding, hey, can I live off of this full time, right? All these things go a long, long way. So I always tell people, keep your job. I didn't do it that way, unfortunately, because I got let go. But keep your job and see where trading goes. Start part time. See if you can make 30,000 in 1 year, right? See if you can make 40,000 next year. 30,000 in 1 year for somebody new. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's a side pocket change. That's a side business. If you had a business that gave you 30,000 every year while you still had your 9 to 5, how would your life look? Right? And that's the way you gotta look at it. Now, I wish I would have done it that way, but it's again, I just gotta let go. So I would have had less pressure, and I think I would have been profitable much, much sooner if I had a 9 to 5, taking care of all the bills and not worrying about, hey, I have to make money, or else I'm gotta go back to work. I can't keep coming to a computer, hitting a button, and losing money, losing my stay-on bonus that I got from my job, losing the savings that I got from the bonus, all that stuff. You can't do that, right? So, it's a lot. It's a lot. So keep the job. If you have a job, I don't want people to be like, oh, but I could make this much what Carlos is making. No, it doesn't work that way. I've done this for 8 years. Very different. So keep the job. Start part time, and if you make 30,000 part time, you might even start like your job because you go in there with a different attitude. You go in there like,
That's true.
hey, it makes you feel better when you have several different resource income revenues, right? That's important. Peter, I have a condo that I have rented, so we got some revenue coming in from there. Not a lot, but it's nice. It's nice, right? We have some business that we started with a partner of mine. It doesn't bring tons of money. It's like 38,000 a year. It's nice. It's nice. So you got all these things, and we're trying to grow that. You got to have all these different streams of revenue, and trading is one of them. And trading is awesome. It really is. So just keep that into perspective, right? It's different for everybody the way you're making your resources. And the biggest one, the one that we make the most money on, is a thumbs up. When you click that thumbs up, there's a little check that goes into Peter's account, and I don't get to see it, but I enjoy that he's getting paid, and I'm very happy for it. So when you hit that thumbs up, it's like a thing, like a little money sign comes up on his mobile app there. So we appreciate if you could hit that.
Oh, there's another one. There
it is coming in.
You're gonna you keep joking that often enough, people are actually gonna
people are gonna start to believe it.
Thumbs up.
Yeah,
I know they're gonna start believing that. Anyway. And there was a question up above about, look, is it realistic to like double your account in a year? It's the wrong math. That's all I can say. I've used this analogy several times, but let me do it again. First, let's just look at the numbers in trading. For example, if you had $100,000 account, do you think it's realistic to make $500 a day? Absolutely. You could if you've got the right strategy and you trade conservatively. You could on average make $500 a day, which is half of 1%. Well, on an average trading year, there's like 280 trading days, I think, in the trading year. So, theoretically that would be 140% that you can make. So yeah, if you could do that, then you can more than double your account. But you got to remember, in trading, your account it's not like investing where you can measure the percentage return on your account. Day trading, you're putting sweat equity in, you're putting your time and energy, you've got to pay for the equipment and the services that you're buying, right? Your trading platform, your commissions, there's all that stuff. Think of the capital that you use, your account, more like again, I'll use like the coffee maker or the espresso machine at a coffee shop. They might invest a whole lot of money in that espresso machine, but you expect the return on that to be significant because you're using it every day. But you also have overhead costs like rent and the cost of the coffee and salaries and electricity and advertising and all that stuff that goes into running a business. If you think of trading like a business, your account is just one of the business inputs. So look at it from a holistic perspective. You get a better view of what the actual cost is. What's the cost of your time? What's the value of your time worth? And that's a different equation for everybody. You got to factor that in because you will be spending time trading. There's no question. So factor all that stuff in when you're looking at your actual return. So
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Man, things just keep on selling.
yeah, we're getting some interesting moves today.
Yeah, things
AMD
is even
was
AMD starting
green.
to give in. Yeah.
Yeah, green momentarily. Now it's moving all the way back down to VWAP. Guys, I'm not in anything right now. I'm just watching.
Yeah.
So none of these are my setups, but it's interesting to watch these moves happen today. It's more movement than I had expected initially. Tesla, on the other hand, still dropping here below 410 now. Man, what a drop today.
Yeah. Yeah, and we should get, it's difficult to talk about money and finances because we are not licensed to do that. So again, everything we hear is education, our opinions only. It would be nice to get someone that's a financial person to come in and give us their take on stuff. So that'd be cool.
See,
I think a lot of people need to learn more about, and I had to learn this because I learned from my parents or school, more about budgeting and
yeah.
and how money works and smart things to do and different plans are out there. You'd be surprised how many people don't know that. I think that's important too. So it's a lot.
Yep. And Beth, to your question, 1% is possible too. Sure, it is. I mean, I said, what if
Yeah.
you had $100,000 account? Could you make $500? You could make $500 off of a $50,000 account. Now
Yeah.
it's 1%. I didn't actually change any of the trading I'm doing. We just changed the amount of money in the account, right? Like,
Yeah.
double the account to $200,000, and now you're only making a quarter of 1%. The math becomes funny at a certain point in time because it's not a linear equation, right? It's
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
again, it's one of those it's sort of like, again, using my coffee shop analogy. If instead of the 100,000, if I said, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put two of those big espresso machines in my coffee shop, but I don't have enough customers, then I just wasted half my investment, right? It's not doing anything. So to what we started talking about, I take money out of my account because it's not doing anything. So I'll just move it elsewhere. I'll put it in a long-term investment account. I don't need sometimes
Yes.
all that cash for day trading. So it depends on what you're doing. Andrew is talking about growing a bigger account, but he trades much bigger sizes. Does he use it all? Well, it's tough to do this math and do the equations. Again, I think measuring performance on a percentage basis of your account size is just the wrong math altogether. It, it's
Yeah.
it's just a capital investment. It's one input. But again, one man's opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, POTR, yeah, great movement. But I don't know if we missed it. I mean, we there's everything is down, right? So if you look at POTR, you have a bunch of other tickers that are down as well. And even the stuff that was up today, like AMD, is starting to feel the pressure. But it really comes down to, do you have a strategy, right? Because it's so easy now for us to
Mhm.
look and say, hey, we missed NVIDIA. We missed the first one we missed out of today. Forget POTR, NVIDIA. NVIDIA was the one. Look at this out of the gates. Oh my goodness. Like, it's so clean. And when I say clean, what do I mean by that? If you're a new trader, this is what I mean. When something is so clean like this, it's like you take your entry, and the best thing that can happen to you when you're in a trade with a long or short is that the price action does not come back up to you and test your entry. That's
Yep.
the best thing that can happen. Once you get that cushion, that buffer, you can relax. You're in the driver's seat. Maybe take a partial as part of your trade management and just let the thing do its work. When the stock is doing, I'll show you actually. When the stock is doing the AMD on you, it's very different, right? This is very difficult trading because you got to get stopped out. You keep testing your stop. Even here when we got in, yes, it worked out, but look, it tested our stop again, and then finally gave out. You know, NVIDIA didn't do that. It just went straight down, right? So, but at the end, it all
Yeah.
comes down to,
So
are you watching it, and do you have a strategy for it, right? Uh,
yep.
that's the key.
So you guys, a lot of conversation here. Beth, you're saying you heard 1 to 3% risk is a good target. I
Yeah,
don't know that you
yeah,
can measure it on a
yeah,
percentage of account. And as soon as you start getting into, I don't know, 3%, That's a
Mm,
big risk.
it's a
So
big
I don't
chunk.
care the size of your account. You know, if you had a
Yeah.
$50,000 account, you're now risking $1,500 per trade. That's a
Ah,
significant. You're basically
no.
using all of your buying
Right.
capital on every trade if you're going to risk $1,500. That's
Yeah.
and you could start to erode your account very quickly with just a few losing trades. So I would be careful with,
Yeah. I'll
you
be
know,
careful with that.
making it too big. What's more important, frankly, is can you mentally and emotionally handle $1,500 risk? I still risk $200 a trade. $200. I don't
Yeah.
care what the size of my account is. It's
Yeah.
$200. I don't even know what percentage of my account it is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not because to me it's not related. I know that as soon as I get over $200 risk per trade, I start to manage it differently. I start to act
Yeah.
differently. And right now, as
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I get the
learn the
same
open,
problem.
right?
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
been up to like $500 and then I find that I start to do weird things. So, especially,
Yeah.
Carlos, it's been only for me, it's still been a short period of time. It's been a while now that I've been trading the open with you, what, 4 months
Yeah.
here or so. And I said, I'm going to try more actively. So I brought my risk back down to $200 because that's where I know I can comfortably risk that without radically changing what I'm doing. So, um, and my account fluctuates every day. It grows or shrinks depending on what happens
Yeah.
and my performance. I don't really worry about what the percentage is because I don't. That's not how I'm measuring it. And I would recommend you think about that yourself, right? Maybe $20 is the right number for you. Maybe $10 risk is good. Or maybe you say,
Yeah.
I don't even get out of bed unless I'm risking $1,000. Hey, if you can afford it, then by all means. But whatever it
Go
is,
for it.
the
Yeah.
number needs to be meaningful to you, but not so big that it's going to affect your decision making. And
Yeah.
that's a different number for everybody. So that would be my best recommendation.
Yeah. One of the things that I use on my well, I don't mentor anymore, but on mentoring is you gotta use hey, let's go to the whiteboard here. Let's go to the I got the whiteboard. Yeah, let's go to the whiteboard. Ear, right? Ear. Think about your ear here. So we're gonna use the whiteboard in a second here. So here we are. And what this is, I'm not gonna write it out because it probably take too long. Experience, account size, and risk tolerance, right? Many people, myself included, when we first started, these are the most scariest traders, the ones that have the account size and the risk tolerance, right? And this was me starting out. I had the account size and the risk tolerance. So what that means, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and risk 1% of my $40,000 account. That's what I started with, right? That's
Yeah.
$400 per trade. Now you're telling me, this is what everybody's telling me, hey, risk 1%. You're telling me that this is okay for a person that has no experience? It's not. It's not okay. You should not do that, right? You got to consider what is your experience. Your experience is not one that's that's high. Then you should not be risking this at all. How about $40? How about that?
Yeah.
Yes. And then the other
Yeah.
thought I had, and I remember very clear when I first started, when I was risking $40, I'm like, oh man, I'm out of 40,000, I'm only gonna risk $40. I want to make more. Don't fall into that. I did. Don't
Right.
fall into that. If you look at my earlier trading, 2018, 2019, I'm risking $500, $1,000 per trade in some cases, try to make, the double of that. When it goes wrong, you don't have the experience, and it will go wrong because you don't have the experience. You're going to fail. So if you're this type of trader, which I was, be very, very careful to fall into this trap of, oh, I'm going to risk 1%. You don't want to do that, right? You want to have the experience, and then you want to have the account size. Now, some people, what they do is, we'll just go back and erase this. They'll have the experience, right? And then they'll have the account size eventually, but they won't have the personal risk tolerance. And I think that is kind of where me and Peter are saying where we're at now. We're comfortable risking a certain amount, right? We have the experience, we have the account size, but our risk tolerance is capped at whatever it is, right? And that's okay. That's okay. I'm not gonna push myself to risk more that I'm out of comfort zone, right? It's not a problem. But once you get to this point, now it becomes, what are you comfortable risking? What is your risk tolerance, right? So this is the process. Think about your ear, grab your ear, do something before you start thinking how much I'm going to risk on a trade. All right. So hopefully that's
Yeah.
helps a little bit.
And I want to make sure if we're talking to those that are new at trading, what we're talking about is, the amount you're willing to lose on the trade. Because Beth, you made a comment that made me wonder because you said something about, well, I'd take 1 to 3% risk, but my stop loss would be very low. That makes me worried that we're not talking the same thing. You might not be hearing what we're trying to say, or we're not well communicating our message. To me, your risk and your stop loss equal the same amount. For example, if I'm willing to risk $200 on a trade, that means when my unrealized P&L gets to negative $200, I'm out of the trade, period. Now, that trade, maybe I was taking a $1 risk on Tesla, for example, which is a $400 stock. I might have $80,000 of capital on that trade, right? I would take, if it's a dollar risk on Tesla, and I'm risking $200, I could take 200 shares times the $400 price. That's $80,000 worth of capital. I'm not risking 80,000. That's how much capital I need to take the trade, but I'm risking $200. Right. So I want to make sure that we're talking the same thing. And that's what, when we say risk, it's how much, when that negative and the unrealized P&L hits that number, we're out, which hopefully should correspond with obviously a technical level and blah, 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 and things like that. But that means if I'm, let's just look at it differently. If I'm taking the same dollar risk, but I'm trading something like AMD, right? Like earlier today, well, it's only a $250 stock. So that means I would only be $50,000 of capital. My risk is the same, but the capital goes from 80,000 to 50,000, right? So, I just want to make sure we're talking the same thing. So,
yep.
Hopefully that made sense. Right.
All right, Francis, we're chatting up here. Yeah, go ahead.
And I use a hard stop. Yeah, Carlos doesn't. He uses a mental stop. I use a hard stop. Same thing. Just make sure that you stop when you're supposed to. Like, don't let it run on you.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Man,
we're looking at these sell-offs are just wild, man. PLTR, look at Tesla, that 405. Who would have thought? This thing is down almost 6% now. I mean, it is sell, baby.
It is selling off hard today. So look at that move.
Red.
$25 move.
Yeah,
over the course
red
of the
all
day.
over here.
$19 since the open. Some of that was pre-market, but that like Carlos, like that's the one I feel that we missed. That's the move that we missed.
Tesla and Tesla and NVIDIA not so much. Well, NVIDIA at the beginning was pretty nice, but Tesla, man, it's sometimes you pick the right horse. There's got to be somebody here short on Tesla, right? Who took that? It's got to be somebody in chat. Allison, did you get in on that? I thought it'd be bullish since the government reopened. You know what, Allison? I did not think it was going to be bullish based on that because we really didn't sell off because of that. Like if you think about it, when we shut down, the market just kept going up.
Yeah.
And people were saying, like, does the market even care? Like, it didn't really care, right? So it just kept going up, kept making new all-time highs. Didn't seem to be bothered one bit. So now reopening, it shouldn't cause this massive move up, right? So, but yeah, it's tech is feeling it right now. There's no question.
No.
And we see, are we in for a double tap on the SPY? My long-term accounts don't want to hear that. My 401k definitely does not want to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh man. So let's see. Another opportunity to buy if it's long-term at a discount. Lopez 3159. Aranza, I believe. Lopez. What did you trade? Tesla? I took Tesla short after a break of 420, but got stopped out twice. Unfortunately, now it's going almost. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. What do I think about AMD? Our good buddy Matt Props. Let's see AMD here. Yes, at VWAP now. It could be setting up for a VWAP breakdown. Poor AMD was trying to do the opposite here, be strong for the day, and just the weight of the overall market is just collapsing on it, saying, "No, you got to come down here too, buddy. You're not immune to the massive sell-off we're having." Let's see here. Yeah. You know what? This could be a good short. It's later in the day for me. Usually I don't take trades this late. But if you're looking for a short opportunity, this could be one where it gives you a nice risk to reward, where you have a plan, the VWAP. This could be one that does that. What I don't like about this time of the day is that it's usually when we start seeing reversals, right? So I don't want to go in short. And I believe when the market starts seeing a little bit of strength, this thing is going to probably shoot up because I don't think it wanted to sell down to begin with, right? Look at it. It's just went green. Now we're back down 2.1. So I'm concerned that the Q is gonna start doing some funky stuff, and it might be tough to get to our target. Whatever our target will be, what 250-ish, low of the day, right in this area. It's gonna take a lot to get there, I think. Let's take it in the funded account. I don't want to mess up my day. Have a great day. I don't want to give anything back. And I'm just not sure. And I shouldn't think like that. But when I say that, that means I'm just not sure about this trade. Because what happened before doesn't matter. Your current trade doesn't care about anything else.
I'm still looking for a good trade because I didn't end up getting in anything. And I'm watching Tesla to see if it's finally going to bottom. But I've been caught on days like this where there are days where it's just going to keep selling, and I don't want to risk trying to reverse this thing and have it keep selling. So I need a really, really clear signal, and it means I might miss the move. Right? It really does, because you never know which one of these little pullbacks is going to become the reversal. I just don't know unless I see a big volume signal, and I'm just not seeing it yet. I mean, it's got to be volume roughly equivalent to the open, which means sort of 1 million shares in the 1 minute time frame is what I'm looking for. So yeah, we'll wait and watch. I mean, if I miss it, I miss it.
Yeah.
It's,
AMD, it is looking attractive. So you're getting the pullback now. If it stays below the VIA, comes back down to like that 250, 366, it does look very attractive. So continuous sell-off, but it does look very attractive, Peter. AMD. Oh, no, not anymore. See, once it breaks that V up like that, it's not looking as nice. Oh, but it's going back down. There it is.
It's weird to me that I get notifications. I signed up for the our local police like alerts, because they send out alerts for missing people and and things. They sent out a alert. Hey, we're trying to identify this suspect in a bank robbery. It just seems weird that there was a bank robbery in my city. Who robs a bank nowadays? Anyways.
Yeah.
Apparently,
speaking of robbery, they call yeah, Ben, I'm probably too late to ask the magic ball now on AMD. It's actually going, it looks above the VWAP, so I don't want to waste a question on the magic ball on this one. I want to
it can give you unlimited answers,
No, we gotta be respectful of his time. We can't just be asking whatever we want, like craziness. You gotta be respectful. But right now, I took too long, Ben. Right. It broke here. It broke. Yeah. See, our strategy never showed up. So good. We waited for the signal. We never got the confirmation signal. It looked good though. Here, if it would have came back down, I think I was tempted to go short. I'm glad I didn't. Again, waiting for that confirmation. So I'm not even going to take that in my funded account because I wouldn't take that anyway now. So leave that alone. That's a good answer. Who robs banks now? Bank robbers do. Yeah, that makes sense.
Bank robbers do. All right, fair point.
Yeah. It's like they caught like, all the guys that robbed the artwork in what was it? The place, the big museum. They caught all those guys
at the Louvre.
Yeah, because somebody left a glove, and a helmet.
Yeah, like
they threw the glove out and they got the DNA from the glove. I'm like, seriously?
I thought it was like a bologna sandwich or something that they threw
There's
that
something
they
they
got
left.
DNA. I don't know,
I'm
something
like,
weird. It was
man, you
yeah.
did this professional Italian job type pull off, and you get caught. It's always the small things that catch people, man. The little small
Yep.
detail you don't think about. Like, come on, pick up your glove, take it with you, burn it in the backyard. Like, what? Or your sandwich. You have to eat now. You have to eat today. Like, you couldn't fast today to make this happen. Like, what? Oh man, unbelievable.
I mean, nothing else, you're right there. Throw it in the Sen or something where it'll at least, or degrade the DNA or anyways.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or eat the whole sandwich. Well, why would you leave? Eat the
Had
whole
to go,
damn
man.
thing. Like,
Had to
come
go.
on, man.
It's the heist was
Oh,
underway. Could
they
finish
got to
his
make a
bologna
movie of
sandwich.
this. They got to make a comedy out
Uh,
of this thing.
anyways, yeah.
Love it,
It's
love it.
AMD's back below the VWAP, Carlos. I don't know if that interests you, but
No, no, it's too late in the day. I think things are gonna start reversing, and this thing might just play around too much. And again, we got a great day in the books for AMD. I'm not gonna mess around with it. We'll leave it the way it is. We're coming up on 11. I usually never take trades this late, so I'll manage to trade all day if we're in it already. But at this point, we'll just call it a day. We'll come back tomorrow and see what other fun stuff we have here. But friends, Nathan's getting set up and ready to go in just a couple of minutes here. Hit that thumbs up over on YouTube if you haven't done it. We really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. Right now we're sitting at 399. We'd love to crack that 400, of course, and be up closer to that 450, 500 area is awesome. So thank you for that. All right, Peter, what's
indeed.
the rest of the day look like for you, my friend?
Oh, well, I'm more watching of the markets. I still need to find myself my trade of the day. I haven't got it yet. So certainly wasn't earlier on AMD. Just
Yeah.
got chopped around at the open. So now I'm looking for a reversal trade. Like I mentioned, I'll be keeping an eye on Tesla. AMD's not as interesting to me here at VWAP, but we'll see what it does. NVIDIA at low of day is interesting. Both of these would be potential longs for me if the market shows signs of reversing.
Yeah.
That being said, you know what? I got to keep in mind that, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, we do have this 30-year bond auction, which again, normally I don't worry about the bond auctions in terms of their impact on the market. It only is going to have an impact if it goes terribly poorly. If it goes really
Yeah.
well or goes to expectations, the market will totally ignore it. However, if it goes really poorly, we saw before that it did have a direct market impact. So just be aware. Again, 1 o'clock is when that auction kicks off. I don't really know how long that process is, to be honest, but if the market starts to do funny things at 1 o'clock, that might be the cause. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but other than that, yeah, it's pretty quiet. I'm just going to keep an eye on things, take a look at, some of the other stuff we were watching. I was watching the Rigetti and QBTS D-Wave,
Mm-hmm.
see what they do. PLTR is down at low of day. I mean, there's a lot of stuff just sort of hanging out here that we'll see if they make some interesting moves a little bit later. So,
Yeah.
what I got.
Mojito says stress eating. Yeah, I guess Robin artwork can be very stressful. The last thing I
Well,
want to do is probably eat, but
rob- robbing anything would be stressful, I would think. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
I remember when I was a kid,
uh,
I there was one time I took something from a store. Stupid, right? I took it was like a pack of cards. It was like comic book cards. I was very young, and I got caught. The guy called me. He's like, "What are you doing?"
well,
And this is like a regular store. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It was so embarrassing." I'm like, "I am never doing that again." I
right.
mean, it's just I don't know how people can just do this. It's crazy. It's crazy. Um, let's take a quick look at earnings here. Earnings coming up. We did Disney today. Didn't do much as we expected, Peter. I mean, pretty quiet for the most part. And
Right.
here this week is again very very light as far as earnings. I think next week we have the big dog. I think NVIDIA is next week, so that
Oh
should
yeah.
be interesting. So
The
We'll see how that plays
long-awaited
out.
NVIDIA. It will be
Yeah,
interesting, especially with its
yeah,
recent movement, and if we'll see what happens in the markets overall as we get closer to it. But yeah, NVIDIA always reports late, so they like to be all alone, get the
yeah.
limelight to themselves, which nobody used to pay attention to. But now,
Nobody
of course,
cared,
now that they're the
right?
big dog, nobody cared. Yeah,
Yeah,
but now that they're the big dog, yeah, it's a whole different world out there, isn't it? So.
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, it's so funny when you try to, and we'll hand it off to, I see Nate is ready to go here. It's so funny when you try to, when you're aware you're doing something wrong, the spotlight's on you, you feel the pressure. And then the other day, I went to, not the other day, like a year or two ago, I went to Walgreens and I'm on the phone and I just went to pick up some detergent because the kids were young and I had to wash something, whatever. We were out of detergent. I walk in Walgreens, I'm on the phone and I walk right out. And I get in the car and I sit down in the car, and this is the time they were still giving bags, Peter. And I'm like, "Where's
Yeah.
my bag? Like, I don't have a bag for this. Why am I carrying it with on the handle?" And I realized I didn't pay for it. And as no
Oh my.
stress, I walked out, no stress whatsoever. And I'm like, all right, yeah. I went back and I just walked right back and got in the line and paid for it. Nobody asked me anything. I was just like, when you're not thinking about it, it just flows
Yeah.
smoothly. So if you need detergent, just walk in and get on the phone and, see what happens. All right. Good luck, my friends. Nathan is here with you guys. Have a great
What's
trading
up, my
day. Hit
man?
that thumbs up. Doing good, my brother. How
How
are
you guys
you?
doing?
Doing good, man.
Good.
Can't complain. Can't
It seems
complain.
like you're having a good time today.
Oh,
We
we're always
are.
having a
You
good
Well,
know,
time,
I
it's
man.
saw.
not
Yeah.
great trading for me. I mean, at least no big
Well,
opportunities, but I'm feeling good. So it's always a good conversation. I think, yeah, it's a good day overall.
Yeah.
yeah, I saw Andrew was sick and heard him in the chat room, and I was sick on Tuesday, so I think there's just
Mm.
something going around
Something in the
catching
every.
everybody. So
Yeah.
Don't
it
give it to
must be,
us.
must
We don't
be.
want it.
Yeah. We don't want it. But yeah, man, we're me
No,
and
you
Peter
don't. No,
we're
it
always
wasn't
feeling
fun.
good. I think you cannot tell whether me and Peter are red for the day or green. You won't tell by our attitudes unless you saw us
No.
trading. We're always feeling good, man. We're always doing good. All right, brother. We'll let you to it. Have a great trading day, friends. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Take care. Trade smart, everyone.
All right. Hey, what's up, you two fam? How are you guys doing? So just me today, and we are going to be talking about Atlas. So give me your Atlas questions. We're going to go pretty in depth into Atlas today, talk about some things, going to focus on some things, and get you guys really, really reading this and some homework of stuff to start paying attention to, so that you can really start using this. So, Jedrex, they are on Trading Terminal. So if you go to Trading Terminal, I believe there's a webinar section on there. If you go in there, then there's some training material in there. I'm working on getting some more videos out and stuff. I'm going to start a series on order flow events, and then we're going to go into some price action events and some more about the spread. So some more stuff will be coming on there. I've got it all sectioned out and working on it. I just need to get them recorded and then finished up, and they'll be on there. But there's already some trading material in there that you can access. Hey, Trey Bros, how you doing? Let's see. Versing. Good morning, pretty bird. Yeah, let me get a link here then. Let me pull it up here. Give me just a second. And I believe, is it there? The Education Center. Let's see. I can't find the actual page right now. Let me keep looking though. I know there's a page. Actually, Mike sent me. Okay, give me just a second. Got to go through all of Mike's messages, but he sent me the page not too long ago of where everything is. Here we go. I believe this is it. So copy. Here we go. Try that one out. I think that should get you there. But I believe that's where he put all the links and everything. So videos, keep up with the questions. The webinar, that webinar should be in there in that link. Let me actually just pull the link up here and make sure. Hit your settings, trading examples, analysis. Oh, yep, there it is. Yeah, so if you go to that link on number 5, Atlas Mentorship Sessions, there's some sessions in there that go over some things. And then we got some other stuff. Oh yeah, it's the using Atlas to spot trade opportunities is another one that I have in there. And then there's some trade examples. So there's a lot of material in there. But the webinar last week, the webinar is pretty good. Had some technical difficulties, and then PowerPoint, of course, wouldn't work for me, so I had to kind of wing it. But there's a lot of good info in there, and some of that we're going to go over a little bit today. Because the biggest thing that we talked about, it was more of a beginner's class to really starting out with Atlas. So there's a lot on here. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's kind of a lot to grab your attention. You know, your ADHD is going to go kind of crazy when you're looking at Atlas. Things moving around a lot of colors flashing, you know, dots and the spread moving around. And so where do you start? If you're really wanting to start with Atlas, like, where do you start? The first place you're really going to need to start, and this is kind of the homework I want to give you guys, is over here to the right side of the chart. This is your DOM over on the far right. This is your current order book. And what we have, basically, you know, it's your level 2 is what you have with your orders here on the book. And then just to the left of that is your current order book through the heat scale. And so when you're looking at the heat scale or the color scale, it's your hotter colors, your reds, your oranges, and your yellows. Those are going to be your larger orders on the book. And then you're moving down into your whites and your light blues. Those are the ones you're going to want to pay attention to. You can kind of think of, you see how we just went right through that order at NVIDIA, how these orders started to come on down here and price just came straight for it to fill those. And now we're starting to get some profit taking coming on in here. But you're going to watch just this right side and right through here. And I just want you to get used to paying attention to where these large orders are in the book, to reading the DOM, seeing these orders coming in, and understanding that price is going to move to size with volume. So when Andrew's talking about, oh, there's a large order on NVIDIA, what is this down here at 55.50 or 52.50, 152.50, and price is going to go there. He's saying that because the market makers, for them, this is a customer-driven service. They make their money by filling orders. They make their money on transaction fees. So they want to move price to where these large orders are on the book. And that's why you need to pay attention to. You know, we're anticipating that price is going to move to these large orders. So when you're thinking if you're wanting to go long or short, how is that book structured? Where are those large orders on the book? Where is the passive accumulation happening on the book? Is it lower like it is here and really it's been all day for NVIDIA? Or do we start to build a little higher on the book and it looks like we may start to move price up? But right now, you know, looking here, there's not really a whole lot of orders to the top side. I mean, everything is really filled in to the downside, like pretty nicely. So we've got a lot of voids up here. We don't have a lot going on. Still have a lot of orders filling in through here. So, I mean, we're still looking pretty bearish at the moment. So I want you to pay attention to these and really just the large orders and the nodes that are sticking out. You're going to see a lot of these orders flashing around. You can kind of see them flashing in and around price. Right now, don't pay attention to those. A lot of those are just bracketing algorithms. So there's algorithms that are going to bracket around price action. Let me see if I can bring these in a little bit better. I want to see if you can tell here. So around price, you can kind of see how we're shaded. There's just these orders popping in and out that just follow price up and down, and they kind of just stay within the same width. Those are bracketing algorithms. So these algorithms, they will follow price all day long. And all they do is really bracket that price action and move up and down with it. I don't want you to pay attention to that just yet. Later on, we'll start getting into that and kind of how to read and see through those, kind of see the forest through the trees. But for right now, just pay attention to the DOM, pay attention to the color scale, and you're looking for those large orders on the book. And understanding that this is the anticipation of price getting down to this area. We can see we tested down into the here, filled here, and now we have that reaccumulation, that passive accumulations coming back. So we're still pretty bearish. As long as these orders still keep filling in, NVIDIA still keeps picking up volume to the downside, this is where we're anticipating price to go. And so really, we're just watching right here for right now and just really paying attention to the orders and everything coming on the book. Let me catch up. Let's see. Humorous, how do you read which way price will go if there are orders nearby on both sides, like where it might go first? Any advanced tips? That's where you've got to read VPA and the volume. So that's kind of going to be the second part of adding to really reading the order book on Atlas. Where is the volume telling you it's going? Who is in control? When we offer to one side or the other, who takes control? Clearly, the sellers are taking control today, like very clearly. Anytime we offer up, we even get a little bit of volume in through here, but we really don't go anywhere. And then as soon as we start offering lower, sellers take it and drive price lower. And we're adding that into what we're seeing here on the book with a bearish book. So everything is telling us this isn't a long yet. I mean, if you're looking for a reversal here on NVIDIA, it's not here. There's no buying. There's really no structure coming up on the top side of the book just yet. So until buyers start to take control of price action again, so this was a pretty good example here. This is a pretty good example of buyers coming in, but no volume. We have this push back up. What's that? Was that off of S6? So a nice push off of S6, but look how weak this buying is. I mean, this buying is very weak compared to the selling that came into this level. Even as we push up into this area, as soon as we start to break back lower into here, sellers start taking control. Sellers start taking control. And what you would be looking for at this point is first for the ladder and the book to start to build to the top side. And then really for buyers to start to come in very aggressively, start extending price up with volume. That volume coming in every time we're making a new 1 minute high, that extension comes in, that volume comes in, breaking highs, volume coming in. Because you need price to start telling you that you're stopping these shorts out. Because there's a big area you've got to clear right here if you're going to make a move and try to get a trade for a reversal, a big area of selling. And to get through this, you're going to need volume and momentum, and you're going to need the book to match with that. These orders got to start coming off the downside of the book. The only way you're going to get that right now is by stopping these shorts out. And the only way you're going to stop them out is with volume and momentum. These buyers have got to come in aggressive and extend. And your prior ceilings, so we have a ceiling right here, a little bit of a ceiling right there, but this needs to become your new floor. So as you start pushing up with volume, you're going to come back in and retest this area. And you want to make sure sellers don't take price lower again. As you start to push up, you start to break the new high, and then you come back in and retest this area where we've sold from before. We need to push out of it again with volume and not drop with volume. So as we start to make those new lows, that volume needs to stop. And then when we start breaking and making new highs, that volume needs to extend along with this book starting to fill into the top side. Here it's getting a little bit better, but this volume's terrible. I mean, this volume's awful. So really nothing yet. We've got to start stopping some of these shorts out and start getting them trapped. So their stops will start to fuel that move higher. I'm getting a little bit of the structure on the book here, but we're still filling in really well to the downside. It's just, you're going to have to watch the VPA on that, especially with something this strong. You're really stepping kind of in front of a freight train. And you want to be able to take the elevator up. You don't want to start really taking the stairs up because you're going to grind through and you're going to give an opportunity for sellers to come back in. So it's just watching the VPA and then those retests into those areas and watching what happens there as well. Let's see. Let's see. JDrex, did you see my link up there for academytradingterminal.com? I put it up there. Just a little bit above one of your last messages. Let's see. What is the difference between level 1 and level 2 that appears in Trading Terminal? Are you talking about just the level 1 and level 2 that they have for the charts there? Or are you talking about how that compares specifically to Atlas? You know, here again, trying to break a new high. This volume needs to extend quickly. This volume really needs to pick up, and that candle needs to extend, and this ask needs to lift in here. So we're still just kind of getting that continuation volume for what looks like another leg down. Let's see. Is that a DX feed or a NASDAQ total view? It is, Zach, it's NASDAQ total view. That's what Atlases have. Let's see. Hey, G. Cole. Let's see. Jazz. How does aggressive buyers and sellers affect the reading of the book? So your three major things for Atlas and what you need to know. And the first thing, and that's why I want you to focus on this first, is the heat map and the passive participants in the market. Your passive participants in the market are this right side. These are the people waiting very patiently for their orders to get filled. And there are passive participants. They structure the book for us. They have their orders waiting there, their target orders, maybe their orders, you know, to get into the trade, but they're waiting. They're just waiting patiently into this area. And as long as we see them waiting patiently, and especially when they start accumulating orders and stacking orders lower or stacking orders higher, you can see we just hit that low and those orders came off. Here, we pushed that low again and those orders came off. But as you're getting into these passive participants, it's their structure that really fills the book and tells us, you know, where's the anticipation of where we might go. The second part of Atlas that you're going to need to pay attention to is the aggressive participants. And those are your volume dots. That's going by a little bit too fast. These are your market orders on these passive limit orders. These are your aggressive participants. This is what your time in sales is. These dots right here, this is what's coming through your time in sales. All of these trades, all of these prints. So these prints in the green are going to be your buys. The reds are going to be your sells. And these are who move the market. Your aggressive participants move the market. If we don't have anybody willing to buy right here, say, what are we at, just below 185, 186, then nothing's going to happen. If we can't lift price into an area of liquidity and these aggressive buyers start to come in and interact and take on that liquidity, price won't move. That's why when we put our watch list together, when you're watching Carlos and Peter together in the morning, the big thing they're looking for is volume. Where's the attention? Where's the volume coming from? Because we have to have the volume to move. Price moves to size with volume. And that's these aggressive participants. They are the volume. They are the ones who interact with these passive orders on the book. And they are the one that move price. Like, we can't get down here to this large order if we don't have more sellers start to come in. And as we start to offer lower, sellers start to sell and sell and sell. Start to stop out buyers and start to push price lower. But if nobody comes into the market to buy or sell, nothing will happen. And that's what you can see a lot if you get some like penny stocks or, you know, some small cap stocks that just don't have any volume on them. They'll just stay stagnant. Like, they won't move. They won't go anywhere. Really nothing will happen because there's no participation. And we need that participation. You know, that's why we like stocks like Tesla and NVDA and Apple, because there's a lot of liquidity and there's a lot of participation. They're easy to read. They're easy to see the structure. So your aggressive participants, I mean, this is who move the market. This is this right here. This is this volume. This is who helps form these candles in here. This is who, you know, really interacts with these passive orders on the book. You know, they're just as important, but really the first part is understanding the book itself, understanding these passive limit orders and what they mean and how to read them. And then you can start getting into the VPA, reading the volume, reading the dots, reading the spread. Get a little bit on level and sensitivity. The sensitivity I use, so the aggregate over, it really depends on how you like to trade. If you're someone, you know, like Thor, like a range trader, and I'm also a range trader, for something in the price of NVIDIA, you know, under 200, you could go to 5 or 10. If you're just wanting to see, you know, if you want to see quite a bit of the book, you know, as much as you can, 5 or 10 is pretty good for something under $200. If it's over $200, you may want to go up to 50, you know, especially if you're getting something into the price of Meta or Microsoft, you may want to go up to 50. But just seeing the book and seeing how it's structured, you know, up to 10 on NVIDIA is pretty good. And then I know some of you think, well, how far up the book or down the book do you need to look? And my recommendation is how much is ever left of the ATR. And I think with NVIDIA, we're probably getting close to pushing well past. Yeah, I think we're already past that ATR. So if you're in and looking now at NVIDIA and it's past, you know, the ATR, really, I would just start looking at the next whole dollar levels. So we're already past that ATR for NVIDIA. So the next whole dollar levels, you know, you're looking at 185 and then looking down 184 and seeing how that's structured in there compared to the top side of the book. You know, is that top side of the book starting to structure like the ladder to the downside? But if you haven't quite hit the ATR yet, I would look out as far as the ATR for the day in both directions to see how much of the book, you know, you need to look at. But once you start to get to this point, really just looking how it's structured through those whole dollar levels and then to the top side to see if that matches up. And here we're clearly still pretty bearish and nothing really filling into the top side yet. But if you're a momentum trader, and I do this when I'm just, I probably zoom in more like this more often than not. For something, again, under 200, a level 1, just depending on how the spread is and then how large you kind of want the dots to aggregate together. But you're going to want to see the orders really sectioned out as much as you can just to get a really good idea of the book. You could see stacking a lot better with level 1 than you could, you know, with a level 5. We go to a level 5, we can't really see that stacking that we were seeing at 1 quite as well. 2's not bad for something this high. So, you know, two's still pretty good. But for this, if you're a momentum trader, I would go to level 1 and then just go back with zooming back and forth between like that 5 and 10 to keep an eye on the book outside of the range. But also this just to really get a good idea so you can see like these micro highs, micro lows, really read the price action, see the stacking going on. And then if you're looking at something like, you know, the price range of Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, you could go up to 5 and maybe that level 2 if you're wanting to zoom in, because that spread starts to get a little too much and it does become hard to read. So we could see we got a level 1 right here. That spread's like, it's quite a bit and it's really, you can't see like a ton of the book in there and those dots start to get really small. So go to a level 2, see how that looks. That's looking better. Well, it was looking better at first. Or we can go to a level 5. So we'll aggregate everything within a 5-cent level. And that's not looking too bad. At level 5, we could still see anything. So level 5 is not too bad for zooming in pretty close for Tesla. You don't want that spread getting like too far. Then you really just can't see anything that's going on really outside of that price action. So zoom in enough to where that spread is nice and the size of the dots are decent, but you can still see the book and you just really want to pay attention to some of that stacking and that order flow that's going on through there. Let's see. Why is the market selling off? Don, that is a great question. More of a revision or just the fact that we just don't have any buyers at this level. We've kind of probably stopped out a lot of our buyers from the last couple of weeks and we are just really struggling to find a buyer. What was that day? So in the market, so Monday, we had a nice push up there, got some decent volume, but then we couldn't lift any higher. Tried to lift a higher. Was that yesterday? Couldn't do it. And now we're just pushing low. We're really struggling to find any buyers at this level. So we're going to probably need some news or something to come in to push the market back up. But, we'll see how we end the week tomorrow and what happens. If we start to break that low from Tuesday, then things could probably get pretty ugly. Or that may be the spot where we find our nice big buyer and we start lifting up and breaking through those highs from this week. Let's see, Mad Props. Going back to if you were to take NVIDIA reversal, if you wait for a big volume and price spike, how would you enter? Get a good entry that moves quick like that? You just have to be patient. So the reason you want the retest, the reason you want the break, so this would even be a little bit of a better entry rather than up through here. You want the buyers to tell you that they're buying and they're going to buy more and they're going to be aggressive and they're going to put in the momentum to stop out these sellers, because these sellers are very aggressive. I mean, they have really taken over price action. We could see the wicks we're putting in here. I bet on every 5-minute high for the last, we've just been getting slammed. Yeah, look at this. So every time, what's this? For about the last, since 10:15, every time we've made a new 5-minute high, price has been slammed. The sellers just slammed price. Every 5-minute high is slam it. 5-minute high is slam price. Another 5-minute high, boom, boom. Here's another one, boom. We need to break up over this area. So you're anticipating and look for any 5-minute high from here on out is going to be rejected violently. And these sellers are just rejecting it. We tick in, boom. We tick in, they are saying no. They're not even letting buyers get a 5-minute high. The first thing we really need to do is close a 5-minute candle above with volume. We need some volume like this, and we need to close above a new high first. And then once we do that, we need to test up a little bit higher. So if we close a new 5-minute high, getting into some higher swings, getting that volume, and then we want a weak selling retest back into this area. You want price to prove to you, and you want the volume to prove to you, and you want the book to prove to you that sellers are not willing to sell anymore in this area, and then in this area, and then in this area. That's why it's going to be important when you're wanting to take a reversal on something with a strong trend like this, with strong selling, that we close above highs with volume, and when we retest back into those areas, the volume is low. And so we start making new 1-minute lows, and we're not extending down like this. We're not extending down like this. We're just kind of chopping. We're taking the stairs back down into that area. And then once we start making new 1-minute highs and new 5-minute highs, we extend and volume comes in. That means we're offering, and the market makers are offering to buyers, and buyers are taking it. Right now, buyers aren't taking it. Like, buyers are not in control, and you need to let them prove to you that they are if you're going to take a reversal of something this strong. Like, you really need the buyers to come in and prove to you. And then you need a test to let you know the sellers are not willing to sell more in this area. Because every time we test up into the area, the sellers are willing to sell more and push price lower. So that's why that retest back into here is so important, and that the volume is low on that. Talk about the different levels, indicate. Glenn, which levels are you talking about specifically? How to read volume on Atlas. Rich, reading the volume on Atlas is, so looking at the volume, just with kind of the limited historical data you have on here, and then, the dots do need to be aggregated a little bit more. That's something, the update I've kind of been waiting on, so that we don't lose kind of the size on that dot, on those dots as you start to zoom in and out. But really, it's adding it with reading the VPA on the chart and understanding that what you're looking at here on the 1 minute chart is aggregated data. So it's 1 minute aggregated data by volume and price, that make these candles, but you really can't tell what happened, at each area of this candle. So if you want to divide a candle into thirds, you've got your top portion, you've got your bottom portion, and kind of that middle portion, or a lot of people think, oh, that's where the volume comes in, is that middle portion of the candle. Not always. A lot of the times it's in these wicks, you start to get these large wicks right here with good absorption. Most of that volume could have been like right here at the top of that wick as it started to reject right here. I bet most of that volume was right down here on this candle. And that's where Atlas is going to come in and show you where that volume came in with the dots. So let me get over here. So we're going to kind of look at this area right here. Let me pull it up. Nope. Did that zoom it out? Okay, there we go. I'm wanting to try to zoom in this area and get this area in the middle of the screen. So that's 24. So this is all the way to right here is about our 24. That's 11:19:9. Where's that candle at then? I'm trying to get this candle. Did we push back up off of that? Okay, we'll just use this one. So 9:24, it's going to be an 11:24 candle. So that'll be this candle right here. We can really see that a lot of that volume through that candle. So what is that? 85.77. 85. Is that what it is? Sorry, I'm trying to see 85.73. 24. 85. Huh. I'm on the wrong candle, I guess. 85. Okay, here we go. I think my time is off on my chart through here. But most of this volume through this candle right here came in right here. We could see by the size of the dots right about halfway through that candle. Look at this volume and how these dots started to grow quite a bit as we got into that area. So most of this volume came in this 24 candle. Most of this volume came in right here off the bottom as we tested into this low. Right off this wick, right off this level. That's where most of that volume was coming in right here on that candle. And we could tell that by looking at the dots in through here, kind of zooming this in and out a little bit. There we go. Trying to get all those out. But we can look and we came down, coming down, break that low, extend down, and then we get this absorption right here. Buyers come in as we test in, push back up. And this is kind of your micro price action and reading your micro price action. And just everything that was in this candle right here. I could get the whole thing in. It's not letting me. Sorry, it's not aggregating very well. But we're looking at coming in here. Here's the volume coming in and looking all this buy volume that's in here. We can see all these green dots that push price back up right at the start of this candle. So we lift up off of here. Boom, right there. We close. Like this is something you definitely can't see in the candles. Here we close this candle right here. This candle closes. And we can see we immediately offer higher. So this candle closes and immediately offers higher. And buyers take it and push price higher. We tick back down. Buyers take it and push price higher. Making new highs. We offer down. Buyers push price higher. This is just something you can't see within the candles within that aggregated data and how that offer was starting to come in. Here we're seeing, that's not quite new, but let's see. Let's see when this candle closes what happens. And I want to see, this is pretty good that this isn't dropping and extending on this low like we have been. But I want to see when this, okay, we close, and that's what I wanted to see. I want to see how we immediately offered when we closed, and we immediately offered higher. We're starting to get some fairly bullish price action now. If sellers were still in control, this should have dropped immediately on the open. So now we're going to watch what happens on that low. If this bid drops into the low of this candle, I want to see if that absorption comes in and it pops back up. Because now buyers are taking it again. So we're starting to get a little bit of bullish price action right here. If you're wanting to kind of read and start to get into the reversal. Now let's see what happens on this high. Do buyers will offer premium off that last candle? Now this needs to extend and this volume needs to ramp up as we start to break that high. But this is adding the VPA into reading Atlas. Where do we offer? And we're watching the spread. So as the candle closes, where do we offer? We offered higher. Okay. So now we're closing all candles and immediately offering higher. That's starting to get into some bullish price action. But the volume isn't telling us that buyers are taking control yet. So we're adding that VPA and reading the spread and reading what's going on here in the price action. Anytime we dip into a new low, we want to see that absorption like here and that pop back up. We try to break into a new low, that absorption, we pop back up. And then as we're closing a candle, where do we offer? Because this volume sucks right now. We are getting some bullish price action, but the volume isn't telling us that buyers are taking control just yet. We're going to need more volume and momentum to break through this selling than just this. This is weak sauce. Let's see. Nathan, is Atlas helpful even on smaller cap stocks like NVDA, huge volume today, but micro cap? It can be. You just have to understand on smaller caps, on small caps, and smaller caps than that. I don't know how what the share sizes out there, the limiting share sizes out there for that stock are, but a lot of times small caps will tend to run away from size unless they have like that volume coming in. And yes, it can be very helpful. But from what I've learned, when I first started trying to trade, I did try to do small caps and it just wasn't for me in reading the price action. And it kind of messed with my thinking for quite a while that as price is starting to move into large orders and large areas of liquidity. Okay, here's our offer lower. Let's see if we drop. As price is starting to move into areas of large liquidity, it tends to push away from that first rather than just running right through it. Even if sometimes it does have the participations, where mega caps and large caps really like to flow straight to that liquidity. Okay, there's our low. What happens? Okay, that's pretty good absorption right there. That was really good absorption from the buyers. That's a nice engulfing candle, engulfing volume. But let's see if they can continue to absorb that or if these sellers start to take back over. There's that another push. So do they absorb and pop again? But price will tend to run away from large orders, maybe pull back into an area, get some more buyers, and then try to run back up through that liquidity. Or large and mega caps, man, they just like large levels of liquidity and these passive order they're on the book, man, they just become like magnets. Like they just head straight for it. You can just tell that that's exactly where it's wanting to go. That's exactly where it's heading. You start reading the volume and putting that into there, and you've got a pretty good edge. You got a pretty good edge in the market in picking this up. But it's for me, I'd say yes, you can use it. Just understand, there's difference in trading the two, but it can be very helpful. And your level 2 won't move, quite as fast on this DOM as it will, looking at just a level 2, just a small cap. So you'll be able to see things a little bit better, and you'll be able to see up the book quite a bit more than you would just using a level 2 for it. Let's see, Alice said, for the sensitivity, what I like to do is, so let's get this red order, this large order. So if you have one large order that's been on the book and it's still on the historical data, it will camouflage some of these smaller orders into the background. So I'll just start with this. So if you're starting to get this, the sensitivity will increase the intensity of the color scale. So if you start to slide this over to the right, it'll bring back in some of those large orders. Sometimes they won't come all the way into like that red, orange, or yellow, but they'll start to get more into that white or that light blue, which is what you're looking at really until that large order gets off the book. So if you're keeping that on there, or, I zoomed in down here and brought that order on, the sensitivity, sliding it over, will bring some of those larger orders back on the book to pop out a little bit more. And what I generally like to do is I like to slide it until that next largest order turns orange. is what I like to see. And then that'll section everything out. It'll show you the voids. But then once you get these out and you zoom back in, you know, everything looks red, and that's where you'll want to just bring it back down. And just getting that one large red order on the book, maybe one or two, and that next order gets to that orange color. So about right there. Oops. Go one over. Yeah, until that next order gets like orange. And that's generally how I like to use the sensitivity and zooming in and out. Because you see when you start to bring that larger order and zoom out a little bit more, that it does camouflage some of those orders on the book. So you're going to want to look more for the wider light blue, or just grab this over, slide it, and then you get back that color scale quite a bit. But the sensitivity is just going to be the intensity of how many orders are sectioned as that dark red, and then go into that orange, and then into that yellow. But that's how I like to use the slider. And, you know, again, when you take those large orders off the book, you'll just have to slide it back over a little bit more. But that's the best way I found to use it. Let's see. Market is, if markets are difficult, trying to guess the bottom is, yes. Like right here, if we would have taken this reversal, we'd have been like, oh, look at this absorption right here on NVIDIA. And we're starting to buy, we're starting to make some new highs, but the volume was terrible. I mean, even though we were extending on some of those highs, and we were even watching it, I mean, the price action looked really good. As we started to drop down, I mean, here we were extending a new high. We saw that, how that looked nice. We got that absorption in through here, but we're following the volume too, and the volume sucked. So we weren't anticipating this to continue because the volume wasn't telling us that the buyers were stepping in front of these sellers. You know, it's just like on the market, you know, why is the market going down? Because we can't find buyers. That's basically why the market's going to keep going down until we start to find another buyer. So, you know, currently we're just really struggling to do that. And our volume is telling that. Like, everything is telling us that we really can't find any buyers. So is this another 5-minute high? Yeah, look, another 5-minute high. That one wasn't bad. It closed like right at the high, and then we hit another high here and sellers came back in. And again, I mean, we're looking at the volume, and it's terrible. So what are we expecting? Well, let's look at the book. Do we have a bullish book yet? Are we starting to build that ladder? No. I mean, we're looking at our orders down here. We're still sectioned pretty well. So how far are we going to look down the book? Well, we're going to look down to 85, 84. And we're going to kind of match that up with 86. Don't really have anything that's matching up to the top side to this. So you don't really have a box. We're still building down lower. You know, so if you're looking past the ATR and where we can go, well, this order is really starting to build right here. And we've got the momentum to go down. So is 183 on the table? Possibly, unless we find a buyer and we start getting orders here to the top side. Other than that, the market makers are going to be more than happy to go down here and continue to bring price lower. So we're going to match all that up with our VPA. And until these buyers start to come in and prove to us, and those orders start to come onto the top side, I mean, we're expecting these orders that continue to build on the low side of the book. We're expecting those to be filled at some point today. You know, if we just keep driving further and further like this, you know, at higher time frames, we're going to start stopping out, you know, buyers that have been in the, you know, trades for maybe weeks now. They're going to start getting stopped out too, and that liquidity is going to help fuel that move lower. Let's see. So no direct link for video. I put that link up there. Let me get it again. Where is my? I'll put it up there one more time. Copy. Yeah, I'm putting it up there again now. So that link right there will should show you that one that I put up for NB Story Trading. That's the link for the Atlas education area. Let's see. It looks like Atlas is helpful. See what else? What else are questions you guys got? Sometimes large caps, it's like the market makers have stored orders and then flush them through to take out the big orders. Yeah, I mean, when they see these large orders on the book, they will have the inventory to fill them. I mean, that's kind of part of what these algorithms are doing. They're calculating how many, shares they need to distribute, how many shares they need to get through orders, but mostly what they want is they just want to take those orders from one buyer or seller and give it to the other side. That way they make profit on both sides. So they take it in and then they give it out. So they would prefer the participation to do that. But if they do have the inventory and they are wanting to get to order, and I think you guys see that sometimes when we're going up on red dots. So we're doing nothing but selling and going up and going up. The market makers are just taking in that inventory. They are just headed to a specific order, and that is their goal to get there. So they are just taking in everything they can because they know they're going to distribute that out once they get up there. So you can get into those quite a bit too, where you're running up and you're like, it's nothing but red dots. Why are we running up? Well, they've got that inventory now, so now they can pretty much absorb everything they need to just run up to that price level. Let's see, Alex, or they like to absorb the orders and then they just take them out. Sometimes they will absorb them, but they would prefer to have the participation from, these aggressive participants. They would prefer to have the trades coming through, so then they can just go from one side to the other. And they make twice as much on those fees instead of just taking everything in and charging a fee on one side. Now they're charging a fee on both sides. Because you have to think, if you're trading NVIDIA and, someone's buying here and you're selling, you're not directly giving them your shares. They are getting them from the market maker. The market maker is taking in your shares and they are handing them out to them. That's how they work. That's how they distribute things. And then they charge a fee for doing that. And then you think of, those fees are what, 0.005 or something like that. But you mix that with tens and hundreds of millions of shares every day. And that really adds up, and that's why they want to fill as many orders as they can throughout the day, because that's a lot of money, even for something, that's like a nanocent or a microcent. Let's see. Just to note, what would a good volume be? Consecutive related large green volume. So if you're looking at this reversal for NVIDIA, what would good volume be? I would say matching this right here. I would say matching this volume through here, this sell volume. We're looking at these rand candles where we got some absorption from, but the green candles are buy candles going up. They need to match here. We need to see that buyers are matching sellers in terms of volume. And right now, anytime we lift, anytime we get a green candle, so anytime we get a candle that closes higher than the previous candle or higher than it opened, there's no volume. But anytime we drop and we offer to sellers, we pick up volume. So sellers are taking the bait. Basically, even if you're thinking that we are just jigging down here for a buyer, we're not finding one. You're not finding like a big fish. I mean, for me, when I'm thinking of a buyer and wanting to get into a trade, I'm thinking of great white Shark Week, hunting great white sharks off the coast of South Africa. That's what I'm thinking of, how they jump out of the water and grab like those buoys that are pulled behind the boats. That's the kind of buyer I'm thinking of. That's the kind of buyer I want to trade with, not just, a largemouth bass or, some other like smaller fish. I want the big like alpha shark that's going to come in and eat all these sellers for lunch and then take their lunch money and go run price higher. That's how I think about it. And this is the kind of volume on the buy side with the extension that you're getting to the downside. You want to see that extension to the top side, volume over these highs, which means these sellers are stopping out. And then that volume continues over every swing high. So then these sellers become trapped. So that's what we want to do. We want a large alpha buyer to come in and trap these sellers. So their stops are going to be buy stops. And as we push through those, that volume is going to push price higher because they're instantly going to become market orders when we hit that price. And that's why you would get the extension through that area. You would get buyers coming in aggressively. You're hitting buy stops and pushing price higher and extending. And that's showing that buyers are in control and sellers are stopping out. And that's what you need to take a reversal off of something like this, really any reversal. But the volume needs to come in more like you're seeing here, more like you're seeing here, not like this. I mean, this buy volume is terrible. We're starting to pick up a little bit here, but we need to see it matching the sell volume on the way down, and it's not quite doing that yet. And so we need to start getting over these highs and extending and picking up volume, because when we're trying to break highs, we're not picking up a lot of volume, and we should. If a big buyer is in here and sellers are starting to stop out, the volume will be picked up over those highs and the candles will extend. And that's what you want to see. And then you'll start getting into reading the spread and what's going over here on Atlas when all of that's happening. And that's getting, you know, more into like micro price action and understanding the auction and how the auction is taking place and what's going on with the auction. Let's see. Then green volume should be rising on the pullbacks. If it is going down, it's going to keep selling. Yeah, I mean, so crappy volume again as we're going up. So here we're lifting. If buyers are going to be aggressive, they're not proving it. Really, this almost looks like a trap. We're just continuing to trap buyers in through this area so they can use their stops to fuel that move lower. I mean, this really just looks like a trap. This candle with this size, this volume should have been more into this area at least. And we would want to see it more into this area to really start to prove to us that buyers are coming in. Because to me, this looks like buyers, they're just trapping buyers in here. And they're doing that so that their stops will be down here at these low a day. And when they break through that low a day, like you're seeing something like here, when you break through that low a day, that candle's extending and that volume's coming in because these buyers are getting stopped out. They're getting trapped. These buyers got trapped in here. And when we broke through the low, the volume picked up, volume picked up here. We stopped out some on this low. And we know that because of the extension on the candle and the volume is telling us that these buyers got trapped and they stopped out. And guess what those stops did? They fueled that move and that leg lower. And this also happens to the top side. If, you're looking to take a short into something that's trending high, you need to see this. This should be extending and this volume should be rising very quickly. It's not. Again, this just feels like a trap, like to me. I feel like we're just trapping buyers in here. I mean, we're really not buying. And most of the time who this is that's buying here and this kind of volume and who they're trapping, retail traders. That's a good indication that retail traders are getting into the trade, trying to take this reversal, thinking this is the low a day and not getting in with, a big alpha type buyer. Instead, just trying to push price higher. These candles start extending. They start seeing that. They see some momentum, so they start getting in, and then they put their stop right down here. And their stops are going to help fuel that move lower because this still needs to be over here with this kind of volume. We're not quite matching the selling volume. So let's see what happens on this low. Does this volume start to ramp and this extension come down? You see how quickly we moved down there too when we offered lower, and now we're extending. That volume's coming in a lot faster now. You see how fast that volume's coming in? I know my thing's there, and we're not pushing back up. So we're not popping back up and getting that absorption now. You see how quickly that volume though is coming in as we offer lower. So sellers are still in control. There's a little pop. Let's see how this candle closes and where it offers. But we closed, offered to sellers, and sellers took it. All right, so there we open. We did offer higher initially. But let's see. You see how we're struggling though? It's trying to lift and offer higher, but every time it does, like really nothing happens. Now it looks like we're getting into some buying exhaustion. I'm expecting when this bid drops below this low for this to really extend and this volume to really pick up. Let's see if it does. This bid should just drop straight through, like straight through the floor. Because the ask is lifting and buyers are not taking. And now more buyers are trapped in here. There it goes. And now this volume should ramp up pretty quickly. Every time that ask lifts, like nothing really happens, and then we start to make a new low. Even if you're looking at these micro highs and lows, so looking at the highs of the bid and the lows of the ask, like we're having a problem even just getting in through these micro lows, let alone like a 1 minute low. But yeah, we offered lower, and now we have engulfing volume, and we just continue to pick up sell volume as we offer lower, and we trap in more buyers. Let's see. Nathan, this class is go. Oh, thank you. Awesome, Ben. I appreciate it. Oh, good. Yeah, go back and watch this stuff. Again, your homework, just watching the order flow and understanding what's going on in the book. Playing with the aggregate over, playing with your sensitivity to bring those orders to pop out a little bit more on the book, get familiar with that. And yeah, I mean, come back and watch this, and hopefully you can even learn even more when you watch it again. But this, even coming back and kind of watching this over and going through and just watching what happens when we're offering each side. I mean, you're looking at the auction. That's why the one overlooked part of Atlas that I tell people that they need to pay attention to is the spread. This is the other third most important part, which it starts to get a little bit more advanced when you get into reading Atlas and reading, micro price action and order flow, is people just miss out on the spread, man. This is the auction. This spread is the auction. And I would recommend even turning the sensitivity all the way off, so you really don't have a whole lot of orders on there, and watching the spread and the auction. How's the auction happening? So think of this as the auctioneer up there. You see this again, we're picking up volume, and that bid just drops. Like we make that 1 minute low and that bid just drops. Like it's the elevator down, and you can see here the stairs up and then the elevator down. So it doesn't even look like we're even jigging really for a buyer. This just looks like we're trapping buyers and then just using their stops to extend, because yeah, this is pretty strong sell action that we're back into now. I'm expecting this to hit this low and really extend down quickly and pick up a lot of volume. But this spread is, you think of the auctioneer up on the auction block and the ask. So your red line here on the top. Do I have a buyer at 185.65? Do I have a buyer at 185.67? People raising their hands, like sticking their paddle up. Well, you're getting up into these points, even as the ask is ticking up into some of these levels, and no buyers are raising their hand. We don't have any green dots. These green dots are going to tell you that buyers are raising their hand and they're saying, I want to buy. If you go back to the old photos of the stock market floor or the videos of people waving their hand and wanting to buy tickets and where all the excitement is, well, this guy is wanting to sell up here, and he's like, can I get someone? I'm gonna raise price. I'm gonna hit it, and they're saying no. Like, we're not gonna get any buyers. There was some absorption and a slam right there. That was pretty nice. So there's a 1 minute high. So now we're auctioning again. Auctioning to buyers. Nope, no buyers. So you can see we're ticking up again, kind of into that same level. So we've got this level right here. So you want to think of, reading wicks on candles. You could read these kind of wicks too into areas. So we have a clear seller, pretty aggressive seller, absorbing any price that comes right in. There we go. Yeah, what'd I tell you? There it is. So do I get a buyer here? Do I get a buyer here? Nope. So what do? You drop the price down. Sometimes to try to find a buyer, you drop price down aggressively to find one. And then when you do that, that's the opportunity for these sellers to take over and sell hard and stop these buyers out, because these guys are trapped. Like, people that started to go long through here, you know, they're sweating because a lot of them are probably retail traders, and that's what that volume's telling me. And they're like, dang it, I was too early, way too early, because I wasn't reading the volume and I didn't have something like Atlas. There we go. Watch this. Here's a sweep. Here's liquidation. I bet this jumps. This should probably jump right to 185. Oh, you got a little pop there. Okay. But this should drop right below here, and it's going to trigger some stops in a sweep. We're going to liquidate a bunch of people. But there, we got some absorption. Now we're lifting back up. So it's going to be these kind of areas too, like these little peaks right here. So as we offer up into there, do buyers take it? Okay, they took a little bit there. That was pretty good absorption in a pop. But now we're going to offer back higher again. Back into kind of that 180. Okay, now we're back into that area where that seller came in pretty heavy, right into that area. We're really struggling. Like they're offering into it, but they're not getting any buyers. And we can see that by the top of that ask right there. We don't have any green dots there. We're offering again. We're going to make a 1 minute high here. Let's see if buyers take it. So we're watching the ask right now. We want to see if buyers take it as we auction up in higher. And they're really struggling. Okay, here's a 1 minute high. So what do we want to see here again? Extension, volume, and this ask going up. We want to see the elevator up. We don't want to see this stair stepping. Okay, still struggling into offering into premium right through here. Okay, closed. We immediately offered higher. So again, do I have buyers here? Do I have buyers here? Do I have buyers here? There was some slippage right there. Somebody got a bad fill. And we're really struggling to lift into here. Okay, there's some extension, but I need to see more volume on there. That volume is not coming in quickly. Extension's good, but volume sucks. So there's a rejection. And right through here as we're lifting, we're gonna watch the ask and watch the offer, watching the volume. You know, if you start to see rejections like this, you know, what's the response? Okay, volume's picking up a little bit, good extension. And now when we close, I want to see where we offer, because we still have some 1 minute highs here, but we're getting into an area where, you know, we're thinking of this trend line. The seller should be somewhere right here. And if we're going to overwhelm this seller that keeps coming in through here, right through this area, we've got to have more volume. So here's the offer lower. And when we start to get into these lows here, we're going to watch the bid. And we're going to see how the bid drops when we reoffer back into sellers through here. There's another break on the high. But we're kicking those highs that we're rejected. We are bouncing back up, but I'm not convinced at all. This needs to continue to accelerate on any drop back. It doesn't need to drop back this far. It needs to drop back a lot less than that and immediately kick back up. Let's see. You've been trapped like that too. All of us have. Yeah, all of us have been trapped trying to take this reversal too early. And that is why with something strong like this, you've got to have that volume really picking up. You've got to have the ask really extending quickly over areas. And when it starts to drop back into that area, it needs to pop back up. And then once we start to clear and get some of these sellers trapped, so now we have a bear trap, when we offer back into them, we don't want them to sell anymore. And that's where when that bid drops into that area, you don't want to see that extension then on those 1 minute candles to the downside and that volume picking up. That's going to tell you sellers are willing to sell more. They're willing to get back in and fight those buyers and take it lower, you know, because they have targets down here. So they're wanting to get those filled. They're not wanting to give up too easily. And this seller's pretty aggressive. So this is a little bit better on this offer. Not quite a ton of volume. But now buyers need to respond. So when the ask lifts, those buyers need to come in and start lifting back over these micro highs. Okay, this closes. Now where do we offer? This would be a chance we offer lower for sellers to really take it and be aggressive and drop this. We're watching the bid now. Since we're down near the bottom third of that candle. Okay, now we're going to watch the ask. Oh, I think I'm running over time. I didn't get to everybody's questions, but go back and watch this and keep this up for the rest of the day. And this is a great area to watch for this reversal and see what's going on. It's really down low. We're getting a little bit of a battle. So, maybe we're getting some accumulation here, but watch the volume and watch what happens when we offer on these highs and lows. And then once we start getting into 5-minute highs and lows, okay, we put this 5-minute, but this is going to be the area we've started to get rejected before. So just go back and watch this and just keep an eye on it. Do some screen recording. But, well, sweet guys. I'll also be here tomorrow, so we'll talk some more Atlas stuff, and I'll see you later. Have a good one.